And hello everyone, welcome back. Udall is chatting to his stream, so he will be, but I will unmute myself for him when he unmutes himself for me. So looks good. So we're going to be getting ready to head into series number 2 as soon as possible, and we'll be able to get that started ASAP. Should be fun. Once again, you're watching the CCL co-stream presented by Roll20, casted by yours truly, Tetcher. Today, with Michael Udall dropping in, showing up. Doesn't he look handsome? Doesn't he look handsome there? Feels good. Makes a new emoji for 2020. Those cost money. There's the end of that sentence. I need money. And unfortunately, emojis cost money to make. Or emotes cost money, sorry. If you want to take some screenshots and put them in a Discord of my face, I can try and find there's usually some web apps that will resize your shit for you. So if you want to take screenshots of my face or stuff that can be used as emotes or just send pictures, please put it in the Discord. Feels good. Feels good. Alrighty. Hang on. Alrighty. So, looks like we have Udall back. Feels good.
Feels good. Wait, did you see the Masquerade interview?
I did. I had it up on my stream. It was entertaining. He's always funny.
I love Masca. He is one of my favorite players. Listen, it was sad the way this situation happened because like I think Masca is really, really good. And like we were really happy with Masca, but it's like Fury just randomly got dropped, right? You gotta pick him up and you gotta give them both a chance because they're both really good. But I don't know. Masca is someone that I really respect and just like admire the way that he handled himself through that entire situation. Like he was really professional and yeah, I got a lot of respect for Masca. So
hell yeah.
I want to see him succeed. More fuel to why I want to see Simplicity win.
I definitely understand it. He's a very good player, so not surprising there. Feels good. So also, just as a point, I'm sure a lot of people have said congratulations on your very sneaky strategy of just stealing all of Chili Mountain shit. The perfect strategy, next level.
Hey, listen, the trade I will take credit for, but the Fury situation I cannot.
That's
because fair. Right, like the trade is something I reached out to every single team about a trade, every single one, and I had different scenarios for each of them. And like I took the draft very seriously and I really wanted to try and give my team the best opportunity, right? Like I interviewed 35 players in the course of a week and I was like really serious about trying to build the best team that I could. And I was really happy with my roster coming out of draft, right? Like I was happy with how it went. We had the trade that got me 4 picks in the first 23, which was crazy.
Feels good.
Feels good, man. Right? And I mean, I feel like we got a really good roster. I feel like we had a slow start, but you know, I feel like the team has a lot of potential leading into playoffs. And Mene coach has really been helping us. So I'm really believing in the team. I'm really optimistic, and I'm excited to see what happens. Sorry, is that like the biggest shameless 30K? No, you were asking me questions.
No, that's fine. I was asking it. Can I ask, how did the main thing come about, by the way? Because I didn't see anything. I might have missed any announcements. How did that come around?
Yeah. So I posted a video, actually. It's on my YouTube if you want to check it out. It's like a 2-minute. It's actually pretty fun. It's just like a hype Mene thing.
Sorry, it's on youtube.com/where?
/ Michael Udall.
Oh, wow. Is that / Michael Udall?
It should be. Let me see.
I'm just memeing. Just
I was like, you made me second guess. I was like,
I was hoping you'd say it. I was hoping you'd say it again, just like really terrible infomercial stuff. So yeah, what happened?
So basically, him and Haswabs are really good friends. And Hasu basically like reached out to me and let me know that, hey, Mene mentioned that he was interested in coaching. And this is before we picked up Fury, for the record.
Yeah.
And it was a lifesaver to have Mene there for that entire situation, honestly. I feel like he's a big part of why everything ran smoothly and why we were able to do it in the way that we did. I think Mene was a huge part of that. Like, I loved having him be a part of the roster. But basically, he reached out to Hasu, and then Hasu basically let me know that he was interested. And I was like, any world where I can get Mene to be a coach, yes. And he was so nice. He said he wanted to do it for free, and I was like, Mene, there is no world where you're gonna coach my team for free. So I ended up paying him, but yeah, just like, because I want him to know how much I value what he does, right? Like what he does is not easy, and if he's doing it for free, it's like I want him to know that there's value. And yeah, I can't provide a crazy amount, but like you deserve something. So I'm so happy with Mene as a coach. That's enough about the rant. Getting into the game, we got an Uther first pick. for the side of Infernal Shrines and the Johanna Cassia follow-up. So this tells me that I feel like Simplicity is going to run double support, and double blind is the response for a potential like Vala Oriole shenanigans.
This is the first Uther the second Uther, sorry, we have seen, and there immediately is the double support. No hesitation. That is a hyper carry Malthael potentially with a Nano Boost and Divine Shield potentially available for this, which I guess you can't blind. So I guess that's value.
Yeah, that actually sounds pretty scary, and giving Cure a hero that he's really going to be able to carry on. Like a lot of this game is going to be on his shoulders. So let's see that first pick in action.
We see Diablo banned away. That would be a great setup for all of this as well. So I like that a lot. Very sensible. The thing is, they are currently having Uther as the main tank, and that is a build that we haven't seen in a couple months. They could of course swap them. Of course, swaps are available. But it is something we've seen before, and it is something Uther can actually do. So being able to play around that would work pretty well.
They could go Kerrigan. This was a tempo storm comp. Do you remember near the end of HGC?
The Circles of Doom.
Yes. They could go like a Kerrigan. They could go Maev. I know Luciano plays those. What is this game? Tetcher! What is going on?
It makes sense. They've got like no wave clear except for Malthael right now. So, and if they were planning on running a Kerrigan, then she clears, but not the fastest. Running a Vikings gives them a lot of map pressure. They already have an incredibly scary 3-man. The flexibility is good. It's a decent-sized map. They want to punish Malthael because percentage damage is just as good against Vikings as everyone else. This is potentially value. Zul is smart. That gives him the wave clear and the double soak potential. That's the smart final pick. It is Uther main tank and hyper carry Vala, another great nano boost target. Potential nano boost strafe. It just absolutely murders everything in its way. A sensible final setup for Simplicity. Their draft is pretty logical, but they do have to be careful around the fact that their composition requires a lot to actually work with tankiness. As Zarya is a hyper carry Cassia setup now. That is a good idea to be able to shield through that Malthael damage. I like that too. Overall, I like both these drafts.
Yeah, I know. This is just like polar opposites from the last series. That's been the craziest part about CCL for me, is I feel like every series you watch just has completely different metas. And I mean, double support and Vikings, I feel like both teams have like the tools to win, if that makes sense. And it really is just going to come down to execution. Like, how well do they defend? Like, are they going to push with the Zarya? Like, what is going to be the lane setup is going to be the biggest thing for me, because we might see Malthael in the 4-man potentially if they 4-person Zarya push the lane, right? And yeah, I don't know. It's definitely a crazy game one, but I'm kind of leaning towards the side of Simplicity. Maybe that's my bias, okay? But I really like the Zul, because I think Zul's really good into Vikings, and the late game team fight presence that they're going to have is just going to be so strong.
Yeah, they can go two separate ways with this Zul as well. They can either go for like the tank build, where basically they do have a second tank in their composition, which could work out really well for them and make up for the stuff that the Uther lacks. Or they could go Q build and just go with anti-healing and just try and make everyone's day bad. As we do see on the left-hand side as we head into the game, Simplicity with Collusion playing on that Uther, Cure on Malthael, Lutano on Vala, Masquerade on the Zul, so he is main tanking with that, and Hosty is on the Ana.
On the right, in the red, we have Team Oxygen, Red Robot playing the Johanna, Cassia being played by Prismat, Banana on the Deckard, Madara playing the Zarya, and then Nasmus going to be playing the Vikings.
So like we said, it is going to be Tank Zul. They are flexing it that way. That makes a lot of sense here. Collusion and Hosty going to be playing the supports. Nothing too fancy on the build, but we do see Shade coming in for the Zul. A little bit of a riskier one. It increases the cooldown of your bone armor, but it's going to be very helpful against that Zarya and that Cassia.
Yeah, it looks like Johanna is just going to be clearing up the wave here. Cure doing a decent amount of damage, and it looks like Zul is going to be rotating to top. So Cure here just trading damage as Vol is clearing up the bot lane. I mean, both these teams are probably going to be just brawling. Like, you're going to see a lot of fighting this game. I think a lot of it is going to, you know, really come down to like these individual mechanics, as Olaf is going to die on the top lane to Masquerade.
Rest in Vikings. Yeah, Masquerade, the main tank player, playing in the off lane because he can double soak with this and it doesn't matter and he can just outpush. They are flexing. Just because you have a player who is going to play the role in the team fights doesn't mean they need to do it during the laning phase. It's exactly what we're seeing from Simplicity. Oxygen, they're trying to match by grabbing some mercenary camps and making the most of that Zarya, who, because he is trying to stack maximum charge, which is why she was soloing that camp for a while. Wants to try and get that maximum energy output as high as possible. Can be very, very strong here, can combo very well with some of the level 7 tanks like Hit Me. We will have to see.
Yeah, well, and a big thing to note too, Masquerade was an offlane player. Kira actually taking a lot of damage in the mid lane. It's going to be okay. But yeah, Masquerade was someone that, I mean, I was looking at in the draft potentially as an offlaner or a tank. Like, he was known for a really good offlane. So, I mean, the ability to flex into both those roles is definitely coming into play here, and it's cool to see.
Rest in peace, Eric. 2 down for Masquerade. Also, the 3-man Viking lane, a classic if you are concerned about losing the Vikings. They do actually kind of wreck when you put them in that off lane together. But yeah, it's an interesting setup. Also, very much the abuse of the multiple bodies on the board coming in for Cure as he goes for Black Harvest, baby.
I love it. I mean, it's going to be the Tormented Souls. I feel like Simplicity just needs to hit level 10, right? I feel like their level 10 power spike is going to make their team fight just unbeatable. And I think Oxygen just is not getting enough value in this early game so far. I mean, maybe they'll have Blessed Shield into Valk, so maybe they can get one-shots. But I really feel like as this game goes on, the team fights are just going to get harder for them.
Yeah, they are going to struggle. Right now, they've taken none of the really wave player talents for the Vikings, so they're just going to be reliant on just Baylog in general. They have gone for the Condemn cooldown reduction for the objectives. That will help a lot, trying to keep people locked in. Have to see how they go. There's a good chance Uther might pick up the Gun of Ancient Kings at level 7, but that cleanse might be very important to deny those insta-blow-ups, like you said. But overall, like you said, I'm feeling very good about Simplicity for this. They can go with Massacre to get the AoE on the dive from Malthael to guarantee they get the full Tormented Souls. And with Nano Boost, it's going to be really hard for Oxygen to win these fights.
Yeah, and Simplicity doing a really smart thing here, pretty much just giving up the Immortal and prioritizing waves instead. I mean, they gave us 16 lead. I guess they are going to be pressuring over and fighting it. Lutano taking a lot of damage, though. I'd like to see them just back out and just give it up. Yeah, okay, so it looks like they are just going to give the first Immortal, just opting to soak instead, recognizing that, okay, we don't really want a 5v5 team fight until we get our ults, as, you know, Malthael did push out bot lane, and Zool did get top lane.
Yeah, Lutano on that Valor, another hero, similar to the Falstad in the previous series, who is just completely made of paper, but can give value. T-Tor, the Preserver, as we do head back down. Looks like Prisma was able to get away, but a counter engage from Masquerade is able to shut that down and gets the kill.
That's a pretty big kill. Like, this is right before the Immortal. Like, this is really going to stop a lot of their push. Collusion actually taking a lot of damage, so potentially he is going to die. It is an Uther, so he will be able to heal his team up. Kira in a bit of a scary situation here is going to get rooted by the Punisher. And it looks like one hero falling on both sides. Olaf actually dying as well. But pretty much even in experience is going to be the biggest thing to note here, team. As, you know, like, this is macro 101 being taught to you by Team Simplicity. Like, really good job by them to split pushing. They got more value on the bot lane with Masquerade. If he dies, it actually is not going to be that good. But it was, like, he got more value than the Punisher did.
He's going for the attack speed slow, try and buy himself some time, but you can see he's pretty much committed to dying. Tries to make it closer to his team because Uther was on the way, but isn't able to do so. Good attempt. But yeah, that's a pretty rough death. Not able to get anything other than the fountain down. Actually, the fountain lived.
I mean, it was evened up, right? Like,
yeah.
he got the entire wall. It's just like if he gets out, then his team will have like a big XP lead. But it's like, he made a really good play there still. Like, getting the entire wall is pretty big value because next Punisher and his team during all of that are capitalizing and pushing mid as well. Like, Simplicity, I think, is just doing a really good job playing around the map right now.
Lutano sticking with standard objective hyper carry build as opposed to going with the potential for the old Chinese style hyper carry build with the resets on E if you're able to pick up kills. There appears to be some random best of 5 floating in the middle of the screen. I'm not sure how long it's been there, but it's there. Sure. As we do, I've just noticed this. As we see Expulsion Zone coming in. Play again for the Vikings. No memes here. Falling Sword for Red Robots. Tormented Souls is available as Valor. That is a great Expulsion Zone. Trying to shut down Lutano, but he's able to get out. There's the Tormented Souls into the backline. And Prisma not looking so hot, but the heals from out of range, keeping everyone up. He is completely out of mana, though, so it's all up to Red Robot, and he will be able to escape.
Kira doing a lot of damage in that team fight, just zoning with the Tormented Souls. Collusion actually using the D-Shield on himself there. I think meant to hit Lutano as Lutano was getting kind of dove by a couple of the Vikings, as it looks like the team fight is going to be fighting. Oh, going again, as it looks like, okay, yeah, Oxygen just going to back off here. But I mean, the game is pretty much evened up here, and you guys saw the power there of the Tormented Souls Nano Boost, just such a powerful combo. And as the game goes on, once that level 16 is hit, it's going to be just bigger. Deckard going to be using the ult here, Tetcher, and the Zarya follow-up as well.
They're just all committed to killing Lutano, and they are able to get him. Cure goes for a counter kill, but the shielding potions from Banana H able to save the counter kill on Cassia. It's exactly what we're seeing Oxygen Esports trying to do. Twice they've tried now, once they've succeeded to just blow up Lutano, remove him from these fights, and prevent that value being gained, as Eric has died. And Black Harvest is complete. Good job, Cure.
Yeah, I mean, one thing to note, Falling Sword is going to be picked up by Johanna here. I do like that. It gives them a level 20 win condition. So a big thing about double support is it actually Cure, though, on the bot side here, going to be trying to kite out. Valkyrie, Ball Lightning actually going to be coming out. Collusion doesn't have D-Shield for another 2 seconds. Okay.
Yeah,
Cure able to live that. Yeah, but just the one thing to know is that Johanna's level 20 Falling Sword, really good into double support because they clump, right? So that's something that as this game goes on, if it reaches level 20, Johanna could get a lot of value there.
Very true. That Heaven's Fury is such a dunk talent. The consistency that you can get that off with in that late game is insane. So we do see positioning is taken. Zul not joining it. Masquerade is double soaking. Wants to get us to 13 because it will be hit early by Oxygen. Doesn't matter how far ahead you get against the Vikings. If they're able to soak, they get value. Diving in, Cure goes early. Pre-Nano and pre-Divine Shield. But he forces the retreat. He buys time, and with that, Masquerade might get them 13.
Yeah, they are down Tormented Souls, though, which is a big part of their win condition. Looks like Lutano is going to be, during all of this, though, getting a lead on the minions, 15-4. This is pretty good for them. Lutano a bit far in, actually. Looks like he is going to be doing a lot of damage to Madara. The D-Shield actually coming out. The baits. Lutano trying to cut out here. Nano boost used onto Zarya is going to die. Cure doing a lot of damage on this Malthael. Banana on the Deckard. And Lutano able to barely escape. Cure trying to chase down Prismat. Zarya's already dead. Are they going to be able to get the Cassia as well? What more can Simplicity get here? Cure actually taking a decent amount of damage. Lutano during all of this just hitting the objective. And that's going to be one hero falling. But, you know, they're going to be able to pressure the fort here as well.
The god plays from the supports there, keeping Lutano alive. He was able to just sneak through all the body blocks and was able to escape. Uther actually de-shielded him. You can see him being pinged. The idea was basically for Uther to divine shield him, and he walked through the expulsion zone, but that didn't actually end up happening. But he was still able to sneak through, thanks to the actual healing coming out of Collusion and Hosty. Very nicely played, as they will push in, and this fort is likely going down.
Yeah, the Punisher is still pretty healthy. Red Robot needs to be a bit careful here as well. Nasmus bringing a couple of his Vikings over. Zul during all of this just soaking, though. The fort going low. Nasmus is going to be flanking in the back. Cure is going to get blown up, actually. Falling Sword going on to the Ana. Did Red Robot maybe potentially go a bit too far here? No, he did not. Lutano actually getting turned around on Nano Boost coming out. They're trying to kite really good heals coming out by Hosty, and they're all going to be able to survive, and they're actually going to get Olaf in return.
The Nano Boost Vala really does choke. They went with the Rain of Vengeance instead of the Strafe. The Strafe could absolutely win fights, but there's so much crowd control on the other side. It's not worth the risk. They went with the CC instead to make sure that they have a disengage and that Lutano has something to protect themselves with. They're able to play it a little bit further back here. Camp's going to be stolen away by Oxygen. Collusion thinks about invading, decides against it. It'll be very risky into that Johanna.
Yeah, definitely a Prism. Just going to be grabbing the health pot, backing up here. I mean, just really a back and forth coming out by both teams. Level 16 about to be achieved by Oxygen.
They force their way forward, trying to set this up. They have two quite weak siege camps now, already taking quite a bit of damage. Cure creeping forward. No nanoboost for another 11 seconds, but they're still looking to set up. Root does come out, but they're zoned away by the Scroll of Sealing. Good job by Deckard here as they creep their way forward.
Yeah, level 16 hasn't been achieved yet for Simplicity, and they're still playing pretty aggressively here. Zul rotating down to bottom to soak. Oxygen just posturing, trying to see if they can force something with their level 16 advantage. And Eric actually is going to fall on the bot side. Masquerade potentially going to get collapsed on, but he's going to be able to get out.
Illusion, a little bit of trouble. Here comes the ball lightning. Easy burst, able to finish him off. Lutano is trying to get some counter damage out as they force their way forward. Nano boost onto that Tormented Souls. They're able to avoid the sleep, except for Masquerade, who's going to be focused on Falling Sword, trying to finish him off and get the counter kill, but they can't do it. The damage output from Simplicity is too high, and Oxygen Esports are forced to back off.
Yeah, both teams just posturing there. I mean, you saw Oxygen just trying to force with their level 16 advantage, and they actually were able to get the Uther kill there. But, I mean, we're still going to see another team fight coming out on this shrine. Both teams just kind of macroing up. 3 forts to 2 forts. This next objective really is going to be a big turning point in the game. Whoever wins this one is really going to be knocking on the keep wall. So this next objective is really going to dictate who's going to be in the driving seat and potentially winning the game.
We have Cleansing Shields from Zarya, removing CC effects. Deckard, safety in numbers. A talent that we just really don't see, but he's getting extra armor for himself and cooldown reduction. Cure goes in. It's the only way he could jump. Gets that Divine Shield. That is big. Goes into the backline, but he's not able to set up anyone. He's still pushing forward, trying to set up for his team, but the slows are good. Here comes the Falling Sword. Cure dodges it. He dodges the Falling Sword and turns around onto Johanna, who gets the speed barrier. Looking for the turnaround. Mana dropped quite low. Cure now with the Nano boost post the Tormented Souls, but he's going to set that up for 1, 2, make it 3. He gets the Olaf, only making it 2 there.
Wow, holy, how did he live? The save from Collusion with the D shield and then the nano boost, that was what a team fight, and really smart macro play coming out for Sim after choosing to push the fort and then having Malthael go push out top as well. Cassia still dead for 25 seconds. They want to just push as much of their advantage as they can because they know that they'll have a large enough minion lead that they most likely won't have to fight it. But they actually are taking a bit of time here as Malthael is going to be starting it up now. Lutano just pressuring, looking to trade damage here.
He has Manticore. He's really just trying to bully Red Robot here.
Hosty. Deckard in the back, though, actually. Masquerade and Lutano are going to be able to kill Deckard, and Hosty survives with 200 HP. This is disastrous for the side of Oxygen. They're down 1, they're down 2. They might lose Red Robot as well. Collusion chasing him down, Hosty as well. Cure recognizing they can maybe get a kill. Okay, but just the double support is going to be enough, and Red Robot's going to die as well. This is disastrous. We love this.
This is awesome. They're able to get the kills. They're able to get the objective. They push in mid. They're setting this up. Also, just as a fun fact, Deckard, the safety in numbers only counts if his allies are near him, and they all just abandoned him to look for that kill on Hosty. They just ran completely away from Deckard, so he lost all his armor, all his protection, all his cooldown reduction, just got dunked on. As such, another kill is acquired onto that Cassia. Mid is about to have a bad day. This keep is looking pretty sketch.
Wait, this might be game over. Cassia staggered for 30 seconds.
Maybe.
They don't have like any damage to clear. Level 20 is about to be achieved for Simplicity. If they play their cards right, they could totally end this game, and it looks like they're aggressively posturing for it. You guys see the Uther tanking as much damage as he can. Uther actually wants to die with his level 20 redemption, and I would expect to see Collusion play pretty aggressive because of that. Masquerade actually falling low here, Tetcher.
You can see Nasmus, he's fishing. He is the damage right now, along with Zarya grenades, able to stun out Masquerade. They're buying time, keeping them distracted. But that percentage damage Vikings is basically their one hope to do something. Cure goes in, no D-Shield, no Nano Boost yet. He's focused down and picked off, but the core is dropping. Divine Shield is on Valor. They're committing everything to his sleep by his time Falling Sword, but the core is deleted. And Simplicity take game number 1.
A really good game, a really good end there coming out by Simplicity. Good call, good aggression. You saw Lutano just step up to the core and just throw a bunch of damage into it. Really well played by both teams. I mean, both teams came with a prepared strategy, right? Double support, not something we've seen a lot in the league. And then Vikings, not something we've seen a lot in the league. Both of these teams came to play. And this is not going to be a best of 3. This is going to be a game, 4 or 5 games. This is going to go back and forth. Both of these teams are really good. Really, wow. I mean, Malthael, 82,000 damage. That nano-boosted Tormented Souls was crazy value.
That'll do it. And that build on Valor is not easy to beat in terms of damage. The W build Valor is pretty consistently just top of the table no matter what game you're in. But in this case, that damage from Malthael, he went for so much. He went for the full spread, guaranteeing he would hit as many people as possible with that trait and that Tormented Souls. He even went for the revive at the end in case he died, even though they were attacking the core at the time. But to be fair, Malthael doesn't really have any core race talents, just in general. That's all he has, just none of his abilities actually affect the core. So it made sense for him to go for that so he could maybe at least defend the base if he was to drop.
Yeah, but I mean, here we are, 1-up for Sim. That's what we love to see, guys. Again, I'm going to be biased caster this one because if Simplicity wins and 30K wins tomorrow, we have the chance to get 3rd seed. So really good first game from them. But this is going to be a really good series. Like, Oxygen's a really good team. I'm curious to see are we going to see more Vikings? Are we going to see them potentially try and ban away the Uther? Like, I feel like after playing against the double support, do you really want to play against it again?
I'm currently having a look at the statistics here in terms of the actual numbers. So right now, if Oxygen were to be able to 3-0, also, I would like to see them play Vikings again, but maybe not the Zarya with it, just to follow up on you there. But the Oxygen Esports right now, if they were to win every game from now, they would finish on a 5-2, which would obviously put them behind crowd control, and their highest possible score would be 19 and 11. This would still be more than 30k would be able to get. So like you said, 30k require Oxygen to lose this. But Oxygen would be possibly setting themselves up to overtake Wildheart Esports if they were able to win, depending on how that series goes tomorrow.
Yeah, pretty...
What on earth was that?
Sorry, I'm wearing a hoodie, and it hit my cup. Sorry.
Scared the hell out of me. I thought the parade was in town.
I'm sorry about that.
Freaking town crier rolling in here. Extra, extra. Simplicity beat Oxygen in game 1.
Could you imagine? Have you watched Queen's Gambit on Netflix?
I haven't yet. No, it's on the list.
Oh, it's so good. Do you know, like, I mean, it's not a spoiler, but they just have like these really, because the game's it's about chess, right? Like, I
assume so, yeah.
Yeah, but basically they just have like this cool cool edits of just showing chess scenes, kind of in that way of like it's like the kids like portraying the results, you know what I'm saying? Because it was like, it's just, yeah, since I've been getting into like stream and production and things, I feel like I admire movies and TV shows a lot more. Do you feel that way?
Oh no, so much. There's so much in terms of production from like TV. Like I am saying a lot that most people notice about me. I'm a wrestling fan. I would love if there was more of the theatrics that wrestling production provides. You don't even have to make the players like big personalities for it to work, but I wish there was more of the theatrics that wrestling as a show, for example, offers in esports. I think that stuff is so entertaining.
Like wait, continue. Like from the players, or just like from the production mainly?
So from the production in general. So they have a whole lot of stuff focused around the graphics in general and around the camera angles, where there's a lot of focus on keeping the audience excited, as opposed to a lot of esports shows, which are, all right, let's fill some time. Let's do a slow pan across the audience. Instead of where in wrestling, they're just like, let's find the most hype person in the crowd and just do a close-up on their face during this hype moment. That's where they put a lot more focus onto that stuff. And they try and get the audience a little bit more excited. They have hype-up men, which esports has, but way less during live events.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, definitely. A lot of times they do that slow camera roll. I don't know. That's one thing that I have been liking about CCL is like, I like that they do the interviews in between games.
Yes, that is good. I love that. I love the interviews. I like the CCL design. I prefer a little bit more of a. I think it could be more hype. It's very neutral colors.
Yeah. No, for sure. I would agree with you. I do think they could add an element of hype. I was mainly just comparing it to HGC. Does that make like?
No, that's very fair.
Because yeah, that was one thing that I always disliked as a player is like I felt like there was just so much downtime, and I feel like they didn't fill it well.
I offered them so many shows. I mean, me and you to have a peeks behind the scenes. Me and Udall had a chat this morning just about like content in esports in general, just having a nice chat, and and I pitched so many shows and ideas to HGC in the time, and a lot of them I didn't even ask for money. I was just like, I can make this. Just give me a camera or a budget, give me a crew, and I can make something during the time. And eventually they made Oracle. But it took them almost 3 years to make Oracle. Oracle was good, but they had so much potential.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. And I actually think that was one of like, I feel like if they did it better, I actually think it would have like really helped grow the scene, because
Oh
I
yeah.
feel like that was one of the big things we were missing. Yeah, and that's something that I'm excited about. Is I feel like the community were doing that this time. But getting into the game,
Let's go.
we got Hanzo, first pick for Oxygen. I mean, Battlefield of Eternity, really good map for this hero. We have Hogger Band, Chromie Band, Uther, so it looks like they don't want to play into the double support, also getting rid of the Medivh. I like this. Simplicity, are they going to try and force the double support? I would expect to see a Stukov +1 here. You know, maybe an offlaner, something like a Urel. But also, okay, it is just going to be Cassia. Cassia really good as well. Two really strong heroes. And this could lead to another double support composition, as Cassia is a really good hyper carry for it.
They're opening more standard this time. Uther can solo support, but he's oftentimes in double support, so it's a big, transparent show from Simplicity. And yes, it worked very, very well for them. They definitely gave away their game very quickly. Simplicity this time, they're starting off a little bit more flexible. They started a little bit slyer, meaning Oxygen don't have as much to react to.
Yeah, and it looks like they are going to follow up with Johanna D.Va. I mean, a very tanky front line here for the side of Oxygen. Provides a lot of wave clear, a lot of macro as well. D.Va also wins the matchup versus Urel. But one thing to note is it is pretty low damage into Simplicity, and they could run another double support. I mean, we saw Stukov Urel earlier, or Stukov Lucio earlier, ran by CC on this map to great effect. Like, that is one thing to note. Oxygen, you know, I would be curious if they ban some sort of second support here.
Definitely possible. They're going to start with Diablo, just removing the burst, which is still quite sensible, but like you said, the potential for second support is still there. There's still quite a few heroes who could maybe deal with this. Like, there's no support picked by Oxygen yet, and with Ana up, they could go with anti-healing themselves. They could go with Emerald Deckard the second time, and this time with a little bit of a safer front line, try and play around it. Also, out of interest, Oxygen currently, these are their two most played heroes. Their three most played heroes, sorry, just they have played in CCL total. 13 games on, 12 games on D.Va, 11 on Johanna, and this is their 9th on Hanzo. So these are their favorite heroes.
Yeah, this is definitely their comfort picks. A lot of macro, a lot of map manipulation, and I think that's the way they definitely like to play. But they're gonna be running into double support again. Sonya and Lucio is the pick, and Masquerade's the one that locked in the Sonya. So who knows? Maybe he's gonna run main tank. Oh, the Deathwing. I like the Deathwing pick here. Banana on Deckard as well is going to be really good into that. I actually think Oxygen's composition looks really, really scary. The Deathwing is just doesn't have that much threat from the side of Simplicity, but also they have slow race. So that's just one thing to note for Oxygen, is their race is not going to be the fastest.
Absolutely. So what are we going to see? Is this is likely going to be a hero for Masquerade, unless Masquerade has found the way to run main tank Sonya, which is doable. We've seen a lot of bruisers. And it is main tank Sonya coming in for Masquerade. He's going to be playing that Sonya in the 4-man, so double support and 2 bruisers. Cure going to be stuck in that offlane. And yeah, that Malthael makes a lot of sense. They now have 3 heroes with percentage damage. Cassia level 16, Sonya on level 16, and Malthael just full stop. So they do have far more tools to deal with Deathwing than the last series that we saw with Deathwing in it.
Yeah, the Malthael last pick. I mean, Sonya as well has percentage damage with Slam build, which has been, you know, the standard build that people are running these days. I mean, look at the compositions. I like the double support for Sim again. I feel like the D.Va and Johanna is not enough damage, right? You have 3 heroes that don't do damage. Deckard doesn't do very much. Johanna doesn't do very much. D.Va doesn't do very much. It's just Hanzo and Deathwing. And as long as Deathwing doesn't get really big, like, breaths, I actually think Simplicity will just be able to sustain through it and just out damage the opponent. So but I could really see it go either way. I think, again, Simplicity needs level 10, and they might get snowballed on pretty hard.
Alrighty, we are heading into the game, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get this going. And on the left, it is Simplicity. Cure back on that Malthael. Hosty on Lucio. Masquerade on the Sonya. Exciting. Collusion on Stukov. Lutano is going to be playing that Cassia. Can Simplicity take us into a 2-0?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I think their comp is stronger. And on the right, in the red, we have Oxygen Esports, Nasmus playing the D.Va, Prismat on the Deathwing, Madara playing the Hanzo, Red Robot on the Johanna, and then Banana playing the Deckard. And it looks like Oxygen actually posturing towards the top side, potentially looking for a tower here, or maybe looking for a bush camp. Lucio is starting to come up, needs to be a bit careful.
He's hovering around. Oh, he scouted. Very careful play by Hosty. Prevents himself getting caught out of position there. Very nice, but still doing Lucio things, still slowing on that rotation, still being annoying, as we do see the 4-man up in top lane. Nasmus just trying to poke in as much as possible. A little bit of a misplay on that defense matrix, going the wrong way, but they're still able to get a good chunk of tower damage there.
Yeah, and it looks like Cassia is going to be rotating up, was bottom, catching the wave, as Prismat actually is going to be running towards top side. 5v4 here, Hosty on the Lucio, trying to kite out. Masquerade going to be looking to walk out as well. I mean, the Lucio, the side of Simplicity is just so, they can kind of run around. You see Hosty here just stalling their rotations, just constantly scouting them. That's kind of the power of Lucio on this map especially, is just able to really always keep constant vision of the opponent.
We see a little bit of focus from Nasmus onto that mercenary camp, creating some map pressure. Sonya doing the same up top. Deathwing spots it, not going to do anything about it. He's a Molten Blood Deathwing, meaning this is almost certainly going to be the build I said it was last Deathwing we saw, aka a Conflagration Infernus build for the Molten Breath.
Yeah, and it looks like Oxygen opting to pressure here with their sieges. Masquerade looking to rotate down. Cure catching the rest of the top wave. And Oxygen with good rotates are going to be able to get about half a tower. I mean, that's permanent damage. Really well done by them. Just rotating a little bit better than Simplicity so far this game, as it looks like Simplicity is just scaling into the late game. Lutano on this Cassia does opt to go charge strikes. Not going to be Q build.
Makes sense. A little bit of extra poke on this. The Q build is so good on this map. But that's charge strikes. That Cassie's going to have to be keeping up with the rest of the team, and the charge strike is going to give them a little bit of a better chance to stick with the auto-attack build and stay in auto-attack range, which they will need late game when it comes to burning through those multiple tanks with that percentage damage. And Hosty is still doing Lucio things.
Yeah, I mean, just being a constant nuisance, just keeping side of them. Masquerade, again, being the mercenary camp clearer, is going to be doing the bruiser camp. Hosty going to peek in here. Oh, I thought he was going to go for the steal.
He's thinking about it, but it's such a bait. He's going to leave.
Hosty, but being annoying, right? Like keeping vision of them. Like this is actually has a lot of value in the game, because the rest of your teammates can play a lot more aggressive because they know where their team is.
It's like if Medivh decided that instead of being a bird, he decided to try and be like the cool kids, put on roller skates and a flannel shirt.
That is a pretty good comparison, actually. I like it. That would be a good look. Masquerade, though, going in, Nasmus using the bomb on the bot side, doing a decent amount of damage. Red Robot actually forced to use the Iron Skin here, but Masquerade just laying damage into them.
Red Robot, he's not gone for the hold your ground. He's not gone for that cooldown reduction, so it's a long cooldown since the nerf. He does have reinforce, so he's getting a little bit of sustain that way with that physical armor, but it still hurts not having that extra cleanse available anytime soon, as they will begin to try and play aggressive. Lutano trying to just out-damage Red Robot. The blinds are good, though. Will be forced to retreat. There's just too many people here. In the meantime, Nasmus, he's just grabbing towers. He's chilling.
Yeah, Nasmus doing a really good job just split pushing, getting a tower there, getting a decent amount of value. And this is one of the things that Oxygen is the best at. They have some of the best macro, if not the best macro in their league. They're really good at split pushing. And honestly, shout out to Cavalier Gust, their coach, for a lot of that. I know that, you know, that's something their team trains on. And it's just really impressive to see them getting value all over the map.
That's great. Pressuring onto Prismat, trying to get those armor plates off, and we'll be able to do so. The power of not Slam Build Sonya, actually. Going with completely different builds, the Shot of Fury and the Tough as Nails, as they will try and push forward. Red Robot already a little low. Mostly gets mini stunned, but not enough to put anyone in danger except for Cure. Whoever gets rooted might be in trouble. The blind is good, and Hosty, they're able to get Cure out of there.
Yeah, and it looks like Lutano is still going to be posturing. Cure and Masquerade both racing. So the two supports plus the Cassia are going to be trying to defend here. Nasmus going in. Lutano is going to be able to juke that Rook. Madara taking a lot of damage, actually. Prism with the good breath. But during all of this, guys, the Sonya and the Malthael are going to be racing and going to be able to secure the objective for the side of Simplicity.
We see the focus being taken away from the top lane, as Cure's just going to head up there to soak out his bot lane. And Immortal going to be pushing in. Prismat looking a little squish. Will need some help, and his team will be all returning from base, which will help out a lot. Sonya going very heavily into just a different build. It is the Poison Spear. I'm really surprised not to see the Slam build, but hey, it's working.
Is that crazy? Could it be Leap?
I think it will be Leap because they need the engage.
Yeah,
They don't really have much else.
I agree. And I actually think it'll be pretty good here. It gives them like one-shot potential onto the Deckard, also onto the Hanzo. But Prism, during all of this, is going to be defending. Good Lightning Breath or Q coming out. Man, I'm so bad at the names of the abilities. I always call them like Q, W, and E.
It takes a long time. Dude, it took me... I still get them wrong. My job is to know them, and I still get them wrong.
Yeah. Well, it's like they change them too, you know? It's like an ever-changing game.
The amount of times they've changed Sylvanas' heroic has just been such a pain in the ass to keep online with. The amount of times I call Mind Control Possession. So we do see Red Robot trying to put some pressure. But he's going to get turned on here. He's tanking through. Banana 8 is zoning beautifully. They're able to secure the camp. Now the question is, do they get out safely? As Prismat taking a lot of damage from Cure. Red Robot does burn the Iron Skin.
Yeah, but level 10 is closely approaching for the side of Simplicity, and I think that is going to be a pretty big power spike, especially if we do see the leap. It could be some sort of one-shot compositioning, leap into Valk, into Last Rites. I mean, that I didn't think about it going into the game, but if they do something like that, it would be pretty scary. But I could see Cure go Tormented as well again this game. But Lutano taking a decent amount of damage here, actually. But Clusion and Hosty both going to be able to keep him alive.
Cure's definitely gone for a more Last Rites style build, but like you said, it could still be Tormented, as we do see Dragon Arrow coming out for Hanzo. Bellowing Roar for Prismat will give them a lot of disengage for P on that Deathwing. Gives them the ability to try and avoid that. It's also another downside on the potential Tormented Souls. There is the Last Rites, and there is a Leap.
Someone's dead. The question is who?
Dead.
Someone is gonna die. I don't know who it's gonna be, but someone is dead. All right, because they've got a lot of kill pressure and they have the Valk off of it as well. So I really like this composition for the side of Sim. They have a lot of pick potential now with level 10 achieved. Banana is gonna need to be careful here as Masquerade may potentially look for the leap.
Lutano gets absolutely roasted. Good sound barrier, but Lutano is not looking good. Will try and sneak away and will survive. The leap was burned onto the backline as Nasmus dives in, forced to retreat.
Yeah, but during all of this, guys, Madara on the Hanzo was just racing. Lutano taking a lot of damage. The Hanzo arrow from deep downtown. Madara, you gotta do it to him. What an arrow. And Lutano's dead, but Nasmus is gonna be forced to use the mech. It is a 4v5 though. They're down Cassia. Are they gonna be able to defend the Immortal here?
Absolutely insane, like you said. Madara doing the objective, and then, oh, you guys haven't won the fight yet? Fine, here. Yeets the Dragon Arrow from across the map, as they are going to try and defend this. Cataclysm is burned. They're going all in on this defense, try and hold back the tide of Simplicity, try and keep them away from the objective. Molten Breath is burned. The Whirlwind's buying time. Red Robot's not looking healthy as Cure is turning this from a protection fight into a kill potential. Objective will be won by Madara, as Nasmus is forced to back up, and Red Robot is killed off.
Yeah, and during all of that, they actually lost bottom for it because of the night camp that was not cleared out. So, you know, as far as value goes, I actually think Simplicity got more value from giving up the objective. And the leap's coming out, the Valk follow-up in Last Rites, but the Valk is barely, Nasmus doing a good job to tank it, but they're still going to be able to clear up the Immortal here, as it is a 4v5. Johanna just barely spawning. Prismat stepping up here and looking to damage it. Oh, a really good job coming out by Cure there, actually tanking the Hanzo arrow.
Cure scoots away, plays safe, keeping himself safe with that Fear the Reaper on level 1 to give that movement speed boost. And that Immortal bites the dust in no time flat. Good defense by Simplicity. That's going to force Madara to port all the way back, burning most of his mana on the race. Not going to be extra helpful in that push, so instead, we just see them keeping an eye on that Merc camp.
Yeah, it looks like both teams posturing. Oxygen is winning the race to 13, so we could see Simplicity look to force here before 13 is achieved. Hanzo and Johanna are rotating up. This could be a 4v5 though, potentially. Simplicity does need to be careful as Johanna is on the flank.
Leap would obviously not be a great engage here with Deathwing standing on that point, so they do play it safe and back away. Going to play it much safer, let the camp go over. In the meantime, Cure, he's going to match camp in bot lane, going as fast as he can. Problem is, he is doing it solo. Diva's on the way. He should get it.
Yeah, he should be all right, as Diva is going to the wave. But level 13 still has not been achieved for the side of Simplicity, as Oxygen does start to pick up their talents. Masquerade going for the leap is not going to be able to hit it. Valk going down as well. Hanzo arrow is going to be big. Madara, another one, another 2-man arrow. Banana is going to be taking a little bit of damage, but Cure is just going to kite out. And 2 heroes are dead for the side of Simplicity. And the Immortal is spawning in 30 seconds.
To shamelessly steal from my chat, the Madaros are insane, picking up so many kills for Oxygen Esports here. Getting so much value as they're going to head in and do that Bruiser camp. He is nailing these every time, and P, aka Prismat, on that Deathwing is roasting fools, and it's only going to get worse once Conflagration comes in.
Yeah, and one thing to note, Banana went super healing pots at 13. Generally, the standard is that Ancient of Blessings, but does want those better healing places. I actually think there's a lot of this talent. I think is really good if you're a really good Decker player and have really good potion placement. So I'm excited to see how it progresses this game.
Makes a lot of sense as well because you don't actually have to spam potions as much because you have one less person to heal. So they don't need to worry about just buffing everyone and getting the healing because it won't affect Deathwing. So just having bigger potions for the 4 remaining members is a little bit more long-term value, making the most of their fact they have less bodies.
Yep. And level 13 has been achieved for both teams. Would expect to see a team fight here. Oxygen is winning the race to 16. Collusion is stepping up. Nasmus on the side is taking a lot of damage. Leap is up. Would love to see Masquerade maybe potentially look for a flank here as the Immortals just slowly getting poked down here by Prismat and Madara. Red Robot walking in here. Hanzo arrow again. Really good job from Hosty using that ult. Lutano trying to kite is going to fall down here, and Prismat is looking for the Cataclysm. Nasmus on the side is getting chunked low. Collusion trying to kite out is going to get body blocked. Really good body blocks from Nasmus. Oh, did he go maybe a bit too far here though, as Pure and Masquerade are looking to kill the Mac, but they're not going to be able to get the mini diva inside of it. And this is going to be a very healthy Immortal going the way of Oxygen Esports.
Oxygen looking great, even up the score right now. Nasmus getting his mech back, autoing the minions to get that back. Also, stutter stepping on Diva, not easy to do, very silly to watch, as we do see the push into the bot lane. Everyone is down here, but we do have a slower rotation. They are planning on 5 manning this. They've got a big shield. They want the first keep.
Yeah, and I think they might be able to get it, Tetcher. Like, this is a very scary push for the side of Simplicity. Leap is up in 10 seconds. Once that's up, maybe we'll see them go for a kill, as Masquerade is going to be rotating over.
They hover around. They're looking for it. No escape for Sonya. She got a little bit of extra movement speed. Cure gets chunked down by Madara with those Hanzo arrows. The scatter arrows doing so much work. Burn reaction is used, but it's Nasmus, it's Diva, no value gain. Conflagration is now available, being punished. P is completely shutting off any engage angles, and that keep is gone. Half health left on the Immortal. Gets a little confused as to which way to go, but that is a good push.
They're looking for more as well. Cure getting blown up there. Bless Shield, Stugov Root coming out. The Immortal is going to get cleared up here. Banana is going to be able to hit the 2-person sleep, but the Masquerade Leap. Are they going to be able to kill Banana here? Fear coming out as well as Sound Barrier. Masquerade a bit deep here is actually going to look to kite out. Prismat is not going to be able to kill him, and Cure is going to be back in 15 seconds. I don't know if Oxygen can end here anymore. The core actually going down 90%. Tetcher, are they going to be able to do this?
They're looking for it. Self-destruct is burned. They try to knock it away, but it still makes it in. It will get some good damage off. No one dying in this. Banana Rage getting focused down. Anti-heals from the Emerald. Oh, good. Decker is holding this push together. Banana H has zoned so many people with that scroll of ceiling as they try one more time to step forward. They're trying to set up for that conflagration. Whoa. They get the little toe of Sonya Whirlwind to try and save, but the healing of Hosty isn't enough. One kill is enough for Oxygen to pull the trigger. They turn for it, looking for the multi-man stun, looking for the turn to try and pick off Cure. He is the best chance right now of Simplicity killing off that Deathwing, as Lutano is causing a lot of chaos on that backline.
They've been sitting in their core for like a minute and a half. This is crazy. Level 16 is about to be achieved for the side of Simplicity. Cure going in, last riding Prismat, and the Deathwing is going to fall. It is going to be a 3v4 at this point, and Oxygen is finally going to be pushed out of the base of Simplicity. What a back and forth team fight.
Incredible by Simplicity. They hold the line. They are still in this, and the fact is they could still turn this. Next objective spawning. It will be 10 seconds before Malthael is back though, and it's almost it's over a level and a half lead for Oxygen Esports. They have so much time to be able to do whatever they want here.
Yeah, and I mean, this is a big thing to note. Like, Madara's arrows this game have been out of this world. He's gotten like a 2 or 3 person arrow every single team fight. And I feel like if Simplicity is able to maybe not allow that to happen, they'll have a, like, I feel like these team fights are so close every single time. And I feel like that's been the turning thing. So I actually am pretty excited to see how Simplicity kind of adjusts moving forward with their positioning.
Right now they're choosing D.Va to zone. They're keeping Madara back. Long-range arrows slightly better in terms of value as they do look to sneak forward. P is returned. Bruiser Camp pushing in the top lane. Nothing available for Simplicity to grab.
It looks like the Hanzo arrow is going to connect onto 2. Banana with the follow-up, and Collusion is going to fall. Masquerade is going to leap onto Banana. The Valk is barely going to miss. Bellowing Roar coming out. Masquerade looking to kite back here, using that Stone Skin at 16, but it's not going to be enough. Simplicity's down 2 heroes. The Immortal spawned. Lutano, he's trying to kite out. He's trying to escape. Is he going to be able to do it? Hosty actually rotating over may look to be able to escort him and not going to be able to do it. And this looks disastrous for the side of Simplicity.
And we're seeing them complete the Immortal. And the reasoning for this, even though they have like 40-second timers, is because the deaths were so staggered, it would still be a risky play. They'd rather get the guaranteed push of the healthiest Immortal and make sure that they can try and crash through top lane, then try and take a risk of people respawning on them again and picking them off while they didn't have all their cooldowns available. It's a safer choice coming out of Oxygen Esports as they pick up Lucio, staggering the deaths even more. Cure doesn't want to be here, gonna back away, just doesn't want to be in that area at all, as this will be a 100% shield Immortal going over to the side of Oxygen Esports.
Yeah, level 20. About 3/4 the level away. They should be able to get it on the push. And this looks like a potential game-ending push for the side of Oxygen. If they get 1, maybe 2 kills, if the, Simplicity is not able to posture up and actually clear the Immortal, this is 100% going to be a game over. I'm really nervous here for the side of Simplicity.
There's Bellowing Roar. Cure dives to the other side and Briz back to buy some time, but the micro missiles from D.Va too much as Hunter picks up the kill. Masquerade buying as much time as he can. He dodges nap time. There's a good Valkyrie leap. One chance to turn it. They get Deckard, and Red Robot is looking a little low, but they lost Masquerade. The numbers so much in favor of Oxygen Esports. P is literally going to leave so that he has full health to push the core.
Yeah, and I think that this is going to be GG going the way of Oxygen. I mean, Malthael is up in 20 seconds. They're actually doing a decent amount of damage. Hosty looking to buy time. Lutano chunking down. The Immortal shields are almost down. Collusion is going to be falling low. Good job coming out from Hosty, able to keep him alive. And it looks like Hosty looking to kite here. Lutano as well. Red Robot falling low, but the Immortal is now on the core. Collusion is going to die. Red Robot as well does. Lutano trying to kite out here. Tetcher. And I think this is going to be GG. Right? Like, there's no way that's so healthy.
No. They can't deal with that. They get the Deathwing, but they couldn't deal with the Immortal. They lost the Cassio, and the second that went down, it was over. They lost any chance of killing that Immortal in time. That is game number 2 for Oxygen Esports, and the score evens up to 1-1.
Man, I was so optimistic at the end there. I was like, they can maybe get it. Healthy Immortal. But yeah, it's down to a best of 3. I mean, that was a really good game too. Madara, his arrows and his scatters as well. I mean, at level 16, he didn't take pierce. He took the % damage. So that means every single scatter arrow and auto attack is 2% health damage. So, I mean, he had a couple full scatters that would, take Lucio down to half HP. Really good job coming out from him that game. And I like the Deathwing as well. I feel like it was a really good adaptation in draft. And they got the Malthael, but like the Sonya leap as your solo engage, it felt kind of rough.
Yeah, it was a choice. I don't know what they were going for. We don't need to CC them if they're dead. But in that case, that was still a rough time. The leaps came out, and Sonya, she's relatively tanky at the best. As you can see, Masquerade, if he'd got to level 20, then that Nerves of Steel and Ignore Pain combo keeps you alive as Sonya for a long time. But in this case, when Sonya is the one who has to survive long enough for your team to kill anyone, and your damage takes a long time like Malthael, it's a rough strat. It's really difficult to deal with, and they went for a lot of extra burst to help. Just didn't work out how they expected. I'm not entirely sure where everything went wrong there. I think it was a combination of everything. The 2 supports didn't combo as well with the rest of the team today. It was a shaky combo in total.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, but It is, you know, they did have a convincing game one, so you know, we knew this was going to be a really good series either way, and I feel like it's going to. I wouldn't be surprised if it goes to game 5. I feel like these teams are pretty evenly matched, and I'm, you know, really excited to see how the rest of the series plays out. That being said, Tetcher, I got to do that thing where I go to the bathroom.
I'm actually going to join you this time because
okay, cool.
I drank too much.
I was going to say, I just always am drinking water, so
yeah.
I will catch you with the next match.
Hell yeah. Alright, my stream, I'm going to just quickly jump to the break screen while I run to the bathroom, so I will be back momentarily. Do not go anywhere. We'll be back in time for game number 3, so see you in just a second. Alrighty, I'm back. Udall's probably still in the bathroom, but I have returned. Whew. Alrighty, fun series so far. Let's talk about how the results of this will play out while we wait for Udall to make his way back. So, current results. If Simplicity are able to now if Simplicity are somehow able to 3-1 Oxygen here, if they win the next 2 games, their final score will be 12 and 15, meaning that they would take 5th if Sidestep Kings lose tomorrow. Quiz 2 was awesome. Thank you, Biggins. Also, back for you. Hey, Biggins, how's it going? But it was Quiz 3 that we actually had recently, so feels good. It was Quiz 3 that we had on the return, so that was always very fun. That was entertaining as all hell. So yeah, Jelly Mountain are set for last. There is no one who can undertake them, I guess, to drop into last. If Simplicity lose here, they will be 10 and 17 in maps, and they'll be 3 and 5. Granite could catch up with them. Sidestep Kings could catch up with them, but no one would be able to keep up with them in terms of map score. Unless Granite went 0-3. If Granite went 0-3, they could actually catch up to Simplicity. And then that would go on Versus. And I don't know who won on Versus. Hang on. Who won on Versus between Granite and Simplicity? It was week 1, I think. Nope. It was not. Alright, hang on, I'll find it. It was Simplicity who won. So if Granite lose 0-3, then Simplicity And Simplicity, if Granite lost 0-3 and Simplicity lost 3-0, and Simplicity lost the next 2 games, then Granite would move to 7th, and Simplicity would move to 6th. So Simplicity winning that 1 game was all important. That gives them a lot of extra save. Feels good. All right, let me know, Udall. I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. Nice. Yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed the quiz. Udall has said he might want to be on it at some point, so I will get to writing episode 4. Those take a while to write, because when you do the first 2, you're like, hell yeah, easy. And once you pass those, you're like, oh no, how do I not repeat myself too much? How do I not make it samey? How do I keep it fresh? It's quite hard to figure out. But I think I'm doing all right. I think I'm making it interesting and entertaining. So we will see. We will see. Ah, big stretch. Feels good. Alright, we'll just wait for Udall to unmute himself. Order message back in the chat. And we'll be good to go. With game number 3, currently 1-1 between Simplicity and Oxygen. Simplicity putting on quite the good performance so far. Let's see if they can keep that going, if they can keep this performance high, or whether the fact Oxygen are in the top echelons of team right now will work in their favor and they'll be able to take the extra wins. Either way, entertaining series so far, having a good time. Hope you are all as well. If you are enjoying, consider dropping a subscription if you're watching on Twitch. Feels good. Feels good. If you're watching on Twitch, drop a subscription or a donation via bits. Also, yeah, Jack of Cups, thank you very much for the 100 bits. Feels good. Thank you very much indeed. We are at 104 of our 150 subs goal before Christmas. I know that's quite unrealistic, but I can dream. There's 6 days. It's doable. We can do it. So yeah, if you want to if you could have a sub to drop, it is appreciated. If you're watching on YouTube, then become a channel member. We have our first channel member. Big thank you to Swing for that. Our first channel member on YouTube. So you can join and become a channel member supporting my content without having to pay as much as Twitch as you do have to pay for Twitch. So thank you all for the support, and I hope you're all enjoying. And thank you, Space Dog, great name, for dropping a tier 1 sub. Very appreciated indeed. All right, Udall is back. I'm unmuting myself so I can be heard on his stream. And that's perfect timing. But what is up indeed, because the game has started.
I'm so excited to be getting into it. Game numero 3, Simplicity versus Oxygen. I mean, the score is tied up 1-1. Well, Sky Foundry, another map where double support is good. Are we going to see Simplicity run it for a 3rd time? That is what I am really wondering for this game 3.
I mean, in game 1, it worked really well, so it wouldn't surprise me to see them run something similar to that style of double support. We could also see the Zagara return once again, because it does work on this map pretty well, because the area control. That's a sensible ban. That is a good hero on this map, and your team is very experienced with this.
Yeah, I mean, Deathwing really strong on this map. Medivh going to be banned as well. That means Uther first pick is available if the side of Simplicity does want to, opt for it. Yep, okay, it looks like they are going to opt for the Uther. One thing to note, Oxygen could potentially look at Mephisto later down the line, a hero that I think is really good on this map. Also, I think decently good into double support, so Prismat, I mean, known to play that hero, just, maybe a good second ban for Simplicity.
That'll be pretty interesting. As Oxygen, how are they starting off? They've, in terms of area control heroes, they've got a lot in their repertoire. They're going to start off with Deckard and Hanzo. Kind of the carries in the last game, so I don't blame them for prioritizing them first this game, taking them away. And of course, getting that anti-healing right off the bat to try and deal with double support.
Yeah, Emerald, a pretty good counter into the double support. Negative 75% healing for all, the new players out there.
Feels good.
Feels good, man. We have seen Oxygen a couple times go Dragon Strike on this map. That is something that potentially we could see. Oh, a Zeratul and a Stukov. So they're going to pick Cure, his signature Zera, in the 2-3. I mean, you do see two squishy heroes in the Hanzo and the Deckard. I like this. I like the confidence out of Kira to say, "Give me Zera, baby."
It's brave. It is brave to see it so early, but the fact is, Zeratul can just do work. If you pick the counters, if you're not in the right place when Zera goes in, he still gets value. Next ban, Malthael. Is Cure playing 2 heroes this comp? Was that the play? As they do ban the Malthael out.
I mean, what is maybe they're afraid of? Yeah, the Malthael is an interesting ban. And it looks like, I guess maybe they wanted to go some sort of really tanky tank and they wanted to take away the percent damage. But yeah, I don't know. I think it would have been weird. They kind of need some backliners. Tychus is still available, which could be a good pickup for Simplicity.
I think they've realized that the swap has come in where there's the potential for another offlaner because they brought in Legacy this time instead of Masquerade. So there's the potential for the double supports playing the double supports. And that left Hosty open, or it left left Hosty or Collusion open to play something a little bit more melee focused. As we do see Diva Cassia, so I do like that star. But what do we see? Are they going to pick any ranged heroes? Is the question at this rate.
Wait, Masquerade's sitting, and
Masquerade's
they have Legacy.
Sitting. They do.
So they have 2 supports and
the person who can also support, aka Hosty.
Yeah, so they have 3 potential supports. That's interesting. So, yeah, I mean, it's just cool. Like, I like seeing people. I mean, we saw Heavy get subbed in. We see Legacy get subbed in. Like, I like seeing people using that 6th player. Like, I think it actually is a really cool addition to the league. And I think it adds like a level of, draft diversity and just spice that makes it more exciting to watch.
So the Thrall and Sylve to finish that up. No tanks again coming in as Teriel. I like that a lot. Lots of protection from Zeratul. Sank to deal with Thrall, potentially. Wailing Arrow is going to be good here if they can time that with the end of Sanctification. But overall, I like the Teriel as the final pick. It gives them a lot of protection against Zeratul.
Yeah, I like Oxygen's draft, definitely. I feel like they just have a lot of tools to save from the Zeratul, just like you were saying. And then I feel like they have double support, but they don't really have much to combo with it. Right? Like they don't have a Vala, they don't have a hyper carry, and generally double support shines the best when you do have a hyper carry. So I feel like Oxygen has a bit of a draft advantage going into this game.
Hyper carry Stukov, excuse me. That is who was it who did that? But it was like just post HGC. It was like BBJ maybe or McIntyre. One of those.
That sounds like something BBJ would do.
Just play it with the auto attack range, and we're just hired hyper carry with it. It was very dumb. All right, we have a game. Let's head in. And Udall, who's on the left?
On the left, we've got Simplicity, and we have Legacy playing Stukov. His first, I believe, CCL game. Very exciting for him. Oh,
thank
dang!
You,
you go do red intro. I'll do blue intro.
Nope, we're back.
All right, Lutano on the Thrall, Hosty playing Sylvanas, Zeratul being played by Kira, and Collusion on the Uther.
And on the right, we're not going to get to see him now, are we? It's Oxygen Esports anyway. So we are going to see them rolling into the center of the map. And they have Madara back on that Hanzo, of course. P, aka Prismat, this time playing the Cassia. Nazma's on his patented Diva. Red Robot bringing out the Tyrael. And Banana Rach is bringing out the Deckard Cade again. It just keeps working.
Yeah, I mean, his Deckard's been really, really strong. I liked his adaptation of going big heal pots in that game. I thought like it was really good on BOE. Lutano is going to be playing the Thrall. Is going to be going, is that Crash, I believe? Did they change the icon?
No, that is Echo of the Elements.
Oh, okay.
Blue is Echo, green is Rolling, and red is Crash.
Okay, people don't normally go that one, right? Like I generally see people go the other two.
Oh yeah, it's well, Echo we do see like second most popular, but these days it's been like a big focus onto Rolling. So it's Echo's the second most popular. Crash is the one where we just don't see it anymore unless you're on like Battlefield. But this is a good map for it too.
Yeah. That's what I was wondering, is because I actually thought Crash could have been pretty good here, give him a lot of damage. But it looks like Simplicity is going to be off clearing. Support camp going to be started up by Oxygen. This tells me that they feel like they have a much better early game. And look at the potion setup that they already have. 4 Deckard potions. Really good job from Banana, getting them set up and, you know, making them confident enough to be able to do that. Simplicity is just going to opt to take their turret and not actually fight the hill camp.
Zeratul, by the way, cooldown reduction on the Blinks is likely going to be the single target burst Zeratul build to get that cooldown reduction to escape and re-engage, because otherwise that cleave radius would give them a much better chance of following up onto Sanctification. As turret, grabbed by both teams, mirrored very easily, and Cure just finds out how bad it is to lane against D.Va when you're visible.
Yeah, I mean, Nasmus doing a really good job zoning here, pushing Cure off the lane, not allowing him to get those globes. Oxygen, Banana, good route, as it looks like they are just going to be pushing out the top wave here. Level 4, I mean, pretty much a whole level lead coming out for this side of Oxygen. That's from soaking waves and being able to get that support camp. But I mean, this early game is really not going well for Simplicity, and they definitely need to scale into the later game, level 16, level 20. And the question is, are they going to be able to?
Oxygen Madara going with ignore all distractions on Hanzo, the insta-minion kills, and of course that extra attack range. Reasoning for this, the ability to stay at range. You can clear the minion wave in mid lane and most of the other objectives, while also with that extra attack range you get every time you kill a minion, still being able to auto onto the objective. This also sets him up quite well if he wanted to go into the Dragon Strike build, as you mentioned before the game started, where he could get the cooldown reduction on level 20.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to see it. It's something where this map almost always goes into the late game, right? Like we've seen level 24, level 25, even I think a level 26 on this map in CCL so far. A map that pretty much every single time goes into the late game. And it looks like Prism actually in a bit of a, okay, he is going to be okay here, but really stopping the split push that Simplicity wanted to do as you see Hosty and Legacy up here in the top lane.
Objective currently being controlled by Oxygen Esports. They sent Deckard up to try and heal up Prisma because he is being harassed. Lots of extra damage, but finally reinforcements are arriving and this camp will be cleared. Very decent damage coming out from Prisma and Madara, who is already retreating down to mid because there is a contested onto the point. They've already forced it to neutral as Red Robot tries to buy time.
Yeah, level 7 not yet achieved for Team Simplicity. Occlusion taking a decent amount of damage here. Madara just laying damage into them, doing a really good job here. Now that he's achieved level 7, every single time he hits an auto, he does get that CDR on the W. It's a big power spike for Hanzo, so I like to see him play really aggressive with it.
They're trying to run down Cassia up in top lane. There's the lurking arms. Shadow Dagger, not enough. The armor blocks enough of that damage to keep the Cassia alive. Prismat's able to get away. We see a wormhole for Zeratul. Not the most standard talent with this particular build, Michael.
Yeah, normally you'll see people go Seeker when you're going the one-shot auto attack build. So this might actually mean that he's going to be going VP this game. Maybe he's not going for a Narrative. And I actually would like that adaptation. I feel like Void Prism is really good in competitive play. The ability to potentially, you know, hit the Tyrael and stop Sanctification every single team fight and allow your team to blow up one-shot someone with Sunder could be a really good option.
It's so strong. Of course, Sanctification is not like old Sank back in beta where it is reliant on Tyrael being available. Once that Sank is down, it will just last the amount of time it lasts. So if you do Sank Tyrael, as Michael Udall was saying, if you sank him after Sank is dropped, then the Sank will do nothing, will run its course, and will disappear. It's the perfect counter. So that might be the adaptation we're seeing. A good call, as the Protector does perish. Only one person in it at the end, as we do see a little bit of damage onto Legacy, but Verdant Reaction will force Red Robot to back away.
Yeah, Cure coming in here, looking to chunk out the Tyrael collusion as well. Walking in, going to be stunning Prismat. Prismat playing really aggressive here. Hosty actually getting gone on, taking a lot of damage, and Decker is barely not going to be able to connect. Cure looking to zone in pressure. Turret is going to get invaded here as level 10 is achieved for Oxygen Esports. Really good job just being aggressive here, as they are going to actually lay down the heal camp though.
Yeah, burning the heal camp so they can get this turret onto Nasmus. Here comes the ball. Lightning P is just going ham. Dragon Arrow does not land, but they are all in onto Legacy. Cure trying to distract Madara to buy time. Nasmus comes in as well, but Legacy is very surrounded. Hosty comes in for one last try to escape, but it's not enough. Self-destruct being yeeted in to try and finish off Cure, and they do get him. But Nasmus trades his life for him, but that's still a 2-for-1.
Yeah, but I mean, Cure doing a good job wormholing back and actually getting the trade kill instead of just dying. Cure, I think, blinked the Hanzo arrow as well. Actually, he blinked like
nice.
Aggro past it. It was really a pretty sick mechanical play. And level 10 now has been achieved. So I was wrong, guys. He went Might of the Nerazim, so he didn't actually end up going the Void Prism. And I think Yeah, I mean, so this tells me that he's going to try and just one shot and get the kill on the Hanzo and Deckard. He's going to look to do a lot of pressure, and then the Sunder is going to be used to pressure the front line. So, I mean, this build I think is also pretty good, like something that we've seen a lot, especially with, you know, the games going so late. Like a late game Zeratul is so scary.
It really will mess you up once you get to that late game, and also that every ability reset once you get to that level 20. My Thanarazim will be a big boost for them to be able to pick people up. And yeah, that's Sundering. We don't see that very often either. It's very, very lean towards Earthquake these days, but that hard stun might be able to get them out. And of course, you can again time that with sanctification to set up or use it for stuff like that. Goodbye, Madara.
Wow, what a flank from Lutano. The huge Sunder play into the instantly dead Hanzo. Really, really well done by Lutano playing on the flank there. And if they're able to get those flank Sunders, I mean, these team fights will be pretty easy as they have a lot of damage off of Sunder.
Red Robot poking in, seeing if he can do anything, get any extra work done, but he's getting zoned out by Hosty pretty effectively here. Level 13. On the line, good to go for Diva, no surprises there. Gloves of Alacrity, Cassia staying very safe. And I believe that is Holy Ground coming in for Tyrael. Could try and control the point as Diva backs away. And more big potions.
Yeah, it looks like, oh, Lutano actually in a bit of a scary situation here, trying to kite out, is going to throw his turret down, but the Hanzo arrow is going to connect and secure the kill onto the Thrall. Level 13 still has not been achieved for the side of Simplicity as Oxygen is pressuring in here and looking to get the fort.
Sieging in that Holy Ground traps Legacy for a bit there. Nearly puts him in danger. Cure clearing the mercenaries more than anything else. He's clearing them aggressively to buy time. Massive shove used onto Madara. And they will clear. They protect top, but they've lost their fountain. They've lost the push. They're still being pushed, actually, with Thrall just coming back in on the way. And as such, the objective already started channeling for Oxygen Esports here.
Yeah, and it's, you know, going up to about 15%. Thrall as well as Zeratul are going to be rotating over, looking to force the fight before level 16. You see Cure here on the flank, looking for Banana. Lutano coming in is actually going to miss the Sunder. Banana, oh, the huge Wailing Arrow actually stopping the Sank, but they're not going to be able to get the kill. Nasmus on the bot side is going to be getting chunked out here as Cure is going to go back in. Nasmus is going to be okay. Oh, Cure? Maybe not, actually.
Pops the mech, lets it go. That's actually quite smart here. Doesn't want to overextend. Collusion, getting a focus down. Holy Ground is good. Has to burn the Divine Shield. That is quite a big disaster there. Again, they don't have Fountain, and there are potions just in their base at this point. That is how much positioning Oxygen have as they push up further. Cure comes in from behind again. Dragon Arrow saves Red Robot. He backs up as they force forward. Collusion is down. One of the spots taken out. Prismat will be taken out, though, as Cure is dancing around this fight like a ballerina, picking up kill after kill. Looks for Red Robot for one more, but he can't find it. As they turn onto Nasmus, they don't pop the mech this time. They get self-destruct. Good to go to buy time. Not enough.
Wow, Cure absolutely. Oh, team fight still going on. Cure looking for Madara, and he's going to be able to.
So low. Oh, he went back in. The shield, the bait.
Oh my gosh, what a back and forth. But Cure able to style on there and get like a bunch of kills for his team. 3 kills going the way of Simplicity. And level 16 is going to be pretty much evened up for both teams. Oxygen had about a level lead going into that. And now both teams are going to hit 16 around the same time. And guys, Zeratul gets scarier at 16. He gets a lot more damage. And I actually think that Simplicity is in a really good spot after that team fight and the way that it played out.
Absolutely. They played that really, really well. Definitely a big shout out to that Wailing Arrow from Hosty. Lutano was playing very solidly, but oh my god, Cure, what was that? As he is currently soaking up the minion waves, grabbing value for his team, just getting anything he can. Holy Ground positioned right in that choke point to shut it down. 99 to 55. Simplicity. Oh my god, Cure, please. What on earth?
Oh, Cure caught Madara on rotate. Really good Stukai silence coming out. Lutano is going to be able to hit the huge Sunder flank. And just like that, Prism's dead as well. Both backliners for the side of Oxygen have fallen as Madara, with a little bit of an aggressive rotate and Cure just waiting there, is going to be able to get the kill. And then the Thrall flank coming out from Lutano. Really well done by Simplicity.
even pops the mech. They are just grabbing everything right now. Protector is acquired, and Simplicity, they put both supports in it. Everyone in this team kind of has some form of self-sustain except for Sylvanas, as they're going to make their way in. Black Arrow could be utilized, but they're saving it for the keep. They want this fort first. Cure over the wall, double blink, looks for Madara. Wormholes away, but Madara ain't looking healthy anymore.
Yeah, and he's playing really scared. And that's how you have to play into a Zeratul as a Hanzo. It's really difficult for you to step up and get damage, because if you do, Zeratul's just always waiting in the shadows looking to chunk you out. Really good job from Cure, just keeping that pressure up onto Madara.
Protector finally beginning to get dropped down here. The focus was a bit too good. They have Martial Law, they have Dragon Slayer, they have enough percentage damage now to deal with this, as they will just clear this out and finish it off. But Cure, he's still hovering around. One mistake, there's the sack. Buys time with big potions. That tops up Madara. Very good job by both supports, just immediately getting out the Protector when the engage happened.
Yeah, and that's going to be ults used on both sides, but the big one is going to be Sanctification on cooldown for another 80 seconds. That, I feel like, is a window that Simplicity potentially could look to exploit, as Sunder will be up in 40 seconds, so they will have about 30 seconds where they could potentially look for a pick, and they won't have the Sanctification as a save tool.
Mercenaries grabbed on every side, but much more value gained by Simplicity, unless, of course, Oxygen can get this turret. Which looks like no contention, no interrupts, but they do instead try to go for the mech again. Self-destruct may have to be burned. No, he survives. Gets out thanks to the shield of Red Robo. That Tyrael gaining so much value.
Yeah, really good job coming out by Red Robot, being in the right place at the right time, helping save Nasmus of that mech. Because, I mean, if D.Va loses the mech, that's really rough. It becomes a, potential kill target for the Zeratul, as Baby D.Va doesn't have as much HP, or like nearly as much HP as the mech does.
Waves cleared up. Prismac keeps the pressure on. Holy Shock to be more annoying than anything else, but also just keep pressure going, keep the damage coming out, and stop him from mounting. It slows down rotations so effectively from Collusion here. Lutano sunders, blink from Zeratul, and goodbye Prismac.
Yeah, it's still no Sank for 5 more seconds. Red Robot may potentially fall. Cure looking to get more. Is he going to be able to do it? No, he is just going to be hitting the fort, and the Black Arrows as well, doing, God's work here, making it so that the fort doesn't actually hit them. I mean, Sylvanas, I actually think that's like a really cool mechanic in the game. Very unique thing. 2 Heroes of the Storm that I enjoy. It's one of my favorite parts of the game design, is that all the heroes have like a special feel. But level 20 closely are coming soon for Simplicity, and that's going to be an even scarier power spike for the Zeratul.
See a little bit of focus onto Lutano. There's a good holy ground. Divine Shield dropped perfectly though. Still catches his toes in the sleep, but not enough to set up for any kills. Being down that Cassia, they don't have enough damage to actually finish anyone off. But Divine Shield, that's a long cooldown that was just burned.
Yeah, that's a big thing. Kind of like the Sanctification. I mean, we saw the Cassia got sundered. There was 10 seconds left on the Sank. Maybe a similar situation will happen for Oxygen, where they could potentially force before that Divine Shield is back up. Level 20 has been achieved, though, for Simplicity. Oxygen still at level 19. Objective spawning in 20 seconds. The question is, what can Simplicity get here with their 20 advantage? And it looks like they want to invade the siege camp, but they may potentially look for more, pushing that wall.
Shadow Strike, by the way, for Zeratul, gaining a little bit of extra consistent sustainability in the fights. His Vorpal Blade, his one key, as we do see a stun from Collusion, now has a 10-second cooldown reduction and gives him a shield for 260 over 3 seconds, scaling with levels. This is going to allow him to dance in and out the fight a little bit more effectively and stay more sustained without having to worry about getting burst when he dives in.
Yeah, Cure. I mean, this is like his signature hero. He's definitely, in my opinion, the best Zeratul in the league. Really putting on a showcase for us, and reminding people why they should ban that hero. Like, I feel like he's been having a really scary game so far, and I feel like Madara is really just kind of forced to play so far back because of it. This team fight is not going to be an easy one, as they don't have the fort for this side of Oxygen. I would honestly like them to just give it up maybe, and then just clear at the wall, because there's a lot of chase down and flank potential here, as you see Cure is already going to be looking to get onto D.Va mech here.
Yeah, wants to try and pop that off early. You'll see that shield being activated as soon as they dive. Also on the collusion, splitting the fight. Taking the 4v3. Here comes Sunder. Splits the mech though. Doesn't actually gain anything. Good management by Oxygen here. Also Rock Stopper from Cassie to try and protect herself from that Zeratul. Cure has already split up. The team is very split by Simplicity actually. They are struggling as Oxygen will claim the position and look to try and pick up someone. Cure onto the backline. There's that Rock Stopper from Madara. It does absolutely nothing as he is deleted off the board as Cure looks for more. Sanctification comes out this time. Stay a while with Respect the Elderly. Diving on. Down goes Uther, but it's Redemption Uther. Legacy sneaks away. Lutano on the backline looking for Banana 8, but he's tanking through. Cure can't find another kill.
Cure going on to Banana here. Collusion is back from the dead. Oh, but it looks like Prismat falling low here. Lutano coming in as well. Rockstopper used. Lutano falling low. Now it's a 4v4. Cure going in. May potentially look to wormhole back. Is going to come back as Collusion is there to heal them. 4v4. Hanzo's up in 20 seconds. Tyrael actually falling really low.
Diverting power, they have to keep fighting, 90% of the point. D.Va is sent to Austria as Uther goes down for the second time. Keeping the team sustained, gonna go back and heal Legacy. P's taken out, and finally the team is 2 split. Cure is able to get so much value from that shield. He dives all the way deep. He's dodging the defense matrices. Looks one more chance, gets Banana Rage, doesn't get the mech, but with 90% on the objective, we will see this Protector going over to Simplicity.
Oh my gosh, Cure is smurfing right now. Cure is playing out of his mind. Yo, shout out my boy Cure, really trying to get Sim that win so that 30K can get the 3rd seed. I appreciate it. Cure has 83,000 damage so far.
Oh my god.
Like, that is crazy. And he's topping siege dabs for his team. Cure really playing out of his mind on this Zeratul.
They make their way forward to take out the keep. People are respawning though. Madara baits out Cure, but that's a lot of damage to the Immortal that was just denied. He's got that percentage damage, remember. As they try to siege in. I don't think they can end. This is the weird part. They can't do it. It's an 18-minute Protector. Cure, though, look to try and change that. Looks for the kills, but it's 1 versus 3. They're able to protect Madara. Holy grounding Madara so that the Fountain can heal him. Cure doesn't care. He's deep. Finally, Wormhole comes out.
Oh, Lutano, though, in a bit of a scary situation here, is going to be forced to use his Blink. But during all of this, the Protector's able to get mid-keep. Cure's just a distraction, just buying time for their objective. Now they're going to have catapult pressure in 2 lanes. And this looks like a scary situation for Oxygen as they haven't been able to secure a fort yet in the game. Cure still just pressuring around.
A little bit of damage onto P, onto Prismat. Holy ground again, trying to split the team. Zeratul trying to deny that D.Va mech. Doing a good job, doing a lot of damage. Nasmus able to escape, but that's so much damage taken out. There's some lovely potions to pick up, though.
Yeah, potions. Again, Banana opting to go for the level 13 empowered larger potion. I like it. I mean, I feel like the team of Oxygen play around it very well. We see Prismat actually taking the turret from the Volskaya Protector, as it looks like Oxygen is just going to be looking to force here. I like this. I like them pressuring in, kind of forcing the Madara here, taking a decent amount of damage. Tetcher.
Self-destruct not used. They do get the Sank off. Sundering not landing, but now with Sank gone, they don't find any kills. Cure dropped down to half health. They're able to back up, but that's a lot of sustain tools just used. No mech available, which is why Nasmus is currently playing on another continent to the rest of his team, staying as far away from where they last saw Zeratul as possible.
Yeah, and it looks like Oxygen is going to be starting up the support camp here. Nasmus getting his mech back on that. Really good job coming up, and then but big bot pressure coming out for the side of Simplicity, and it looks like they are going to be looking to potentially invade the turret here as Legacy and Lutano are going to start it up. D.Va did show in the top lane, so Simplicity should know that they are safe to take this. Red Robot coming in for the Holy Ground actually is not going to be able to steal the camp. Red Robot is pretty deep. Collusion taking a lot of damage. Deckard Sleep coming out, and that's a dead Uther, but on the top side, Cure chasing down the Tyrael is not going to be able to get the kill, but Redemption is now going to be down on the Uther for this next team fight.
And that's important. This next team fight might end the game for either team. There's no keep available. Dragon Arrow comes out. That's a bullseye! bullseye! They get Cure with the bullseye from Madara. Revenge is going to be so sweet as they push their way in. They want this so bad. Legacy, he tried to buy some time with the massive shot. There's the Sundering. Divine Shield onto Legacy. Full retreat out of Simplicity. They've got to get out of here. It's their one chance to survive, to wait for Cure. As there's a beautiful stun. Self-destruct. Lutano is completely isolated. 2 kills acquired as they push in for more. The next objective is in mid lane. If they can set this up for a keep, they can end the game. It would come down to this final objective. No one is clear. They have cleared bot out. They've bought some time. 2 catapults are pushing in, but they should be neutralized by the wave.
Cure is respawning in 20 seconds. The Zeratul will provide a lot more damage. Legacy had to heal up here. If they lose Hosty, Bullseye is barely going to miss. A good root coming out onto the Tyrael here, taking a decent amount of damage. Zeratul is respawning in 8 seconds. As it looks like Collusion may potentially fall. A big stay a while and listen, as Uther does not have redemption. He lost it earlier. Hosty taking a lot of damage here, trying to kite away. Uther goes, healing him up. Zeratul is respawned at this point. Sanctification though, and that's a level 20 Sanctification coming down for the side of Oxygen. The core is falling to 80%. Shoving oh, Madara's gonna fall. Core falling down to 65%. They gotta get Prism. Cure, the huge Stuke off root coming out. Prism falling low here. Red Robot. Nasmus dies as well. Core going down to 40%. Cure weaving in and out, and the defense is secured for the side of Simplicity, and they're gonna walk it down and end the game.
Simplicity heads straight through mid. They've got cannons in bot, but it does not matter. Their core survives on 36%. They have all their damage dealers available. They make their way across, and Simplicity are going to take the lead in this best of 5. What a defense! The value being gained there, the kill so fast onto Tyrael. The massive shoving him into keep to buy them time to do damage was huge. They split the aggro on the core, and that is game number 3 for Simplicity. What a play.
Yeah, and what a game number 3 it was. Like, I would not be surprised if we see a respect ban on Cure's Zeratul. I mean, depending on what map it is, depending on if it's a good Zeratul map, but I felt like Cure had such a strong showing that game. Lutano also had some really good flanks with those Sunders. Legacy at the end, really big Stuke off route to turn the team fight. But I mean, well done by Oxygen, almost bringing that game back. And look at the final damage. Look at the final stats for your Cure. 160,000 siege damage, 114,000 hero damage, and almost 25,000 XP soaked. Like 8 kills. Ooh, what a game.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable game from these teams. You can see the value. Look at how much damage there is on the other side as well. Cassia did so much. Madara, it kind of reflects the game he had. He got value. Sorry, he got value being targeted and getting the percentage damage out, but he was not on the Prismat level there because Prismat is safe. Prismat had the armor. Prismat had the sustain. Madara was literally just, his job was to survive and then start attacking. Survive first. But in this case, Simplicity, with the no tank composition, they found what they needed. And while Cure was causing chaos, Sylvanas, Hosty, may not have got the highest damage output in the entire game, but they never died. They held that game so many times just with those solid wailing arrows and great lane control that they went a little bit underappreciated that game, but they really helped carry.
Yeah, and one thing I'll be curious about is going into this game number 4, what is going to be the roster lineup for Simplicity? Are we going to see Masquerade getting subbed back in? Is Legacy going to play again? I mean, Collusion in the past has been known to play tank, right? Potentially, maybe that's something they look at and have Legacy be support. I was thinking, like, that kind of hit me halfway through that last game that Collusion used to play tank. So maybe that's something where, worst case scenario, they could pick him in ETC and he's got a pretty good ETC. Yeah, I'll be pretty interested to see how it progresses as far as who plays roster-wise.
It's going to be entertaining. It should be good. And of course, this is match point for Simplicity, which I'm sure Udall's very happy about.
Hell yeah, baby!
It's match point for them, but Oxygen, they're still in that top 3. It's still doable for them, and they've still shown some insane stuff throughout the season. Is it time to bust out something? I mean, they can't get much more crazy than already busting out Vikings and Zarya together. that sentence just is weird, but they do have a lot of options. They busted out Samuro at one point already. The Mephisto on certain maps could be a really big game-changer hero. They have that potential, and they also have Abathur for heroes like for maps like Towers, for example.
Yeah, I mean, Abathur, a really strong hero. I wouldn't be surprised if we see the team go to Towers. I mean, that's a map that I think both of these teams do enjoy playing. And it's one I would love to see a Tomb of the Spider Queen game. I really like Tomb of the Spider Queen. Do we know what were the map bans? I didn't actually see
we
it
don't
at the
see
start.
we don't see on the clean feed. They don't show that on the clean feed for reasons that are annoying. But yeah, I'm not sure. Right now I'm just looking at who has like high win rates. So right now Dragonshire is one of Oxygen's highest win rates, tied with Cursed with 100% win rate. So if they pick the map, we could go to Dragonshire. But that is a commonly banned map by Simplicity, banning it 3 times this season. So maybe it'll be flexible that way. If we look at high win rate maps for Simplicity, they have played them all. Basically, all that's left is Cursed as one of their highest win rate maps. It's another 100% win rate, but only over 1 game.
Yeah, I mean, Cursed Hollow, definitely a map that we could see Vikings, we could see Abathur. I mean, Cure is someone that was known to play Illidan as well. I mean, that's a hero that we potentially could see get pulled out. But I just want to see if they're going to ban the Zeratul, right? Are we going to get the respect ban coming out this game? That's what I'm really looking forward to. That last game, Tetcher, I'm
so
like,
good.
That was insane. Like, they had no tank. Cure was creating so much space in the back lines. Like, because you pointed it out. You pointed out the wormhole and how it's not the standard build, but I felt like he got so much value weaving in and out there with it. It was, a real masterpiece to watch.
It was ultimately what was his undoing, though, and that's the crazy part. For starters, apparently the map bans were Dragonshire and Tomb. So we know that Dragonshire won't be in effect, so that takes one of the options away for Oxygen. But for second, that's kind of what was Cure's undoing. That fight on the right-hand side in the late game, where they were able to land the bullseye from Hanzo just in time because of that 1 second delay that Wormhole has, and that's where they were able to actually capitalize on that, and that's the risk that you take when you go for Wormhole, because Bullseye increases the movement speed of the Sonic Arrow, meaning you have a much better chance of catching someone with it.
All right, Tetra, I got a question for you.
I hopefully have an answer for you. Hopefully it's right too. That would help.
Are we going to game 4 and that's the last game, or are we going to game 5? If you had to choose one, which one? What does your heart tell you?
That's a good question. I think it depends on the map. If we go to anywhere that isn't Towers or Garden, I think we go to a game. I think it's over. I think if we go to Towers or Garden, I think the series will go to a game 5.
Okay. Is that because there's certain drafts on the maps, or it just is kind of
because the Simplicity have definitely shown that they have the potential, but honestly, in the macro game, they've kind of, you can see a couple weaknesses a couple times. Yeah. So agreed. I think I'd lean maybe more towards the side of Oxygen there. So I think that's where they might be able to find victories. So I'm leaning on those 2 maps for them.
Yeah, I do feel like the macro for the side of Oxygen has been better. I will be curious if they switch up their bans and picks, right? Like, will we potentially see them run a double support of their own? Yeah, like I personally, I would love to see it end right here. Simplicity get that 3-1 because that way it makes it easier for my team to get, that 3rd seed. But I'm a biased caster. It's fine. But I just love good Heroes of the Storm more than anything. That's the boat I'm in.
Yeah, it's okay to be a bias caster. I was a bias caster back in the day, mostly for Team Nuts because names. That was always my team. But there's a couple teams that when you cast them for long enough, you do just get to like the personalities, which resulted in those who watched See China. My favorite team was RPG. Because they were always entertaining to watch and they always did interesting stuff. And they were either the best team in the league, where they were beating E-Star on like a regular basis, or the worst team in the league, where they would just do ridiculously stupid shit. And I would just... There was a couple times I nearly got in trouble for Blizzard for nearly swearing on broadcast, which you weren't allowed to do, because I would just be like, RPG, what are you doing? Why is this dumb? You are like potentially the best team, but you keep doing stupid shit. Play-wise, I think they were one of the best teams, but whoever their shot caller and draft was not good.
Was trolling out of his mind.
Exactly, just on a regular basis, and that's when it never like made it to an international event because they'd always throw.
That cracks me up. Okay, so I peeked into the main broadcast, and it looks like Garden of Terror is going to be game number 4, and it was picked by Simplicity.
Hey, I think I'm on point with the predicts. Feels good.
Ayo, I'm pretty. I mean, so we got Garden of Terror.
Yes.
A map where Vikings are really good. A map where Illidan is pretty good. A map where Zeratul pretty good. Are we gonna see a Zeratul and a Vikings ban potentially?
Maybe, but that would leave Hogger open. That's the concern. Both these teams have banned Hogger at some point, so we will see. With Simplicity being first to pick, it's pretty... Sorry, Oxygen being... Yeah, no, it's Simplicity being first pick. This is pretty chaotic. Also, someone pointing out they just didn't want to travel. That's what E-Star did. They sandbagged their playoffs. They didn't want to travel because they wanted to retire. And then the other teams couldn't get visas, so they went anyway and got it all the way to the semis. Sorry, to the quarters.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Mid-Season Brawl 2017. That's the one where they did the best. Mid-Season Brawl 2017, they didn't want to go, so they sandbagged. Because they were retiring to go play Arena of Valor. So they basically tried to sandbag and lost to the other two CE, but CE couldn't get visas. So they basically were like, okay, we can't get visas for CE. E-Star, can you get visas? And they're like, yeah, we still have them from like earlier this year. So they got visas and they went and they did really well because they were like, okay, I guess if we're here and we're retiring, we might as well try. And they did really well. Exactly.
Right? See, that's always like an interesting thing for me is I think not like playing without pressure is one of the biggest things because it's not easy to do. And like, I think like you consistently see teams in any sort of competition when they're like the underdog or they have nothing to lose, they like very often play really well.
Hell yeah. If only we could say the same for Nomia. They were great. They really were. A lot of the players went on to international stuff. As we do see the Hogger still banned out.
Yep, I think that's a good ban. I will be curious to see if they get rid of the Vikings. Medivh and D.Va going to be the bans for the side of Oxygen. Two pretty solid bans. I mean, they've been banning Medivh pretty much the whole series, which Hostia has a really good Medivh, so I think it's a smart move. And Simplicity is currently waiting, trying to decide what the scariest thing is.
Yeah.
I mean, Vikings. I feel like you don't want to give up Vikings, right?
There's Vikings, there's Abathur, there's Deathwing. There's so many options here. You got to pick one of them. They just go for Chromie. Sod it. If they get one, we'll get the other. We'll get something to soak. There it is. Oh, it's Cascon. Hey, Cascon.
Wait.
Feels good. Analyst Master Cascon. And usually support main Cascon coming in with Banana H. So hell yeah, we got the Abathur.
Wait, Prismat got benched?
Prismat got benched, baby.
What?
Dude, you survived too much versus Zeratul. Get out of here. Alright, let's go. Last week of play. Get everyone in.
Is Prismat tilted?
Maybe. Who knows? Who knows at this point? Either way, Abathur gonna be coming in here with Sonya and Sylvanas already on the other side. Great pushing potential already taken up, and that is aggressive.
We have Masquerade as well, by the way, for Simplicity, so it's not Legacy. I like the Karazim and the Johanna. I mean, Bless Shield into 7-sided, a lot of damage. Potentially, I mean, one thing to note is that Prismat really is their flex player. Like, he's the one that plays their Zeratul, he's the one that plays their Orphea. So, you know, those heroes potentially that you would want to pair with the Abathur. I mean, Samuro is a hero, though, that Nasmus, yeah, okay. Yep. I'm really happy that I was going to say, if Samuro makes it through, that will be pretty scary.
Yeah, that's just game ending there with the Abathur Samuro. And there goes Zeratul! The respect is earned. Feels good. And I want to run something past you, actually. This is something I'm potentially planning for New Year if everything falls into place. But in general, what do you feel about the idea of being able to swap players out after the draft? So you pick heroes like normal, but you could say pick, like, say, let's go for like Sidestep Kicks, for example. They could pick heroes and then swap out someone for June if they pick Vikings.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not opposed to it. I think it'd be exciting for a viewership standpoint. I think it'd be exciting for like a general manager standpoint. I think the big thing would be like, what do players think? You know, because I
That's
think
fair.
that from players I've talked to, that it seems like they would not like that. Um, but does that make sense? Like, I mean, I think that'd be pretty cool. I think it would add a lot of diversity as far as like, um, like you could realistically have like a 6 to 8 person squad that like all have specific heroes they're good at. But we're gonna have a Vikings as well as another
Oh
double
boy.
support Uther Brightwing combination. So they have Abathur and Vikings.
Yeah, this is the second time this has happened, and it was done by Oxygen as well. But in their defense, they played against Sidestep Kings on towers, and Sidestep Kings reacted by just playing Hammer and yeeting bot lane. Well, I guess why not? Yeah, why not? I guess main tank Uther or main tank Sonya. Yeah, main tank Uther. Yeah, I mean. That's the most sensible reply. Okay, you want to macro Sokus, I guess we'll push to win. Good luck.
What a crazy game. The draft series have been like so wild. But I mean, they're working. They make sense. Like they got macro. They have Sylv and
Yeah.
Sonya. They can run the double support. I mean, Abathur Vikings. The one thing that I'm worried about is that I think that Simplicity is going to have the ability to do mercs and pressure a lane, right? Because if you have Uther, Brightwing, Hammer pushing bottom, and then
Yeah.
Sylv and Sonya pushing the side lanes, like Johanna, Cassia have to defend bottom, and you can't take out your mercs unless it's like Baylog with an Abathur hat, but that's not going to be nearly as fast as a Sonya and Sylvanas.
Could
So,
go Bribe.
yeah, Bribe could be a good pick, but looking at the drafts, I mean, maybe I'm underestimating the power of Abathur Vikings, but I'm leaning towards feeling like they're or not Simplicity's comp is just a bit better.
I am with you. As we do have Simplicity here on the left-hand side. Collusion on that Brightwing. Hosty is playing the Sylvanas. Masquerade on the Uther. Cure on Sonya. That is some fancy camera work as Lutano is on the Hammer.
Yep, as on the right in the red, we have Oxygen Esports, Nasmus playing the Vikings, Red Robot on the Johanna, Cascon playing the Abathur, Madara on the Cassia, and Banana playing Karazim the Monk. It looks like Uther and Hammer are going to be rotating to the top side, so they're going to be pressuring top. Sylvanas, Sonya, and Brightwing will be looking to pressure bottom. I like this. Pressuring both sides of the map is a pretty smart move, and let's see how Oxygen actually responds.
I mean, this is fair. What the hell are you going to do against a Sylvanas rush with this composition that you got? You got to just rush in. But guess what happens? Second they do that, Hammer's sieged up and pushing top lane, baby. Cure might actually die for this, though. He may have gone too greedy. Collusion tries to teleport in to save the day, but he does go down. In the meantime, Hammer's going to siege. So yeah, the last time this composition was played, the Hammer composition did win, but it was on towers, where they basically consistently got the mercenaries on cooldown and just one bot lane. On this map, there is no way to do that. There's no way to hit the core directly, but there is a way to just open up for catapults super early and gain the value that way.
Yeah, as it looks like Nasmus is going to be trying to solo defend, and Olaf is going to end up falling here. I mean, Lutano allowed to pretty much free push here, as we do see the Sylvanas and the Brightwing in the bot lane. And I like this 2-1-2 lane setup coming out for the side of Simplicity. Really smart macro decision by them.
It's working. It's certainly working as they begin to put the pressure on. Here comes the counter rotation from Banana H. No one else is here yet. He goes a bit before his team arrives to potentially go for the counter engage, but he does force Lutano to back up. Lutano, by the way, Maelstrom Shells, the fastest pushing talent.
Yeah, and during all of this, guys, on the bot side, Sylvanas is going to be pressuring really hard. I mean, you have Hanner and Sylvanas. You have so much pressure in the side lanes, and look at Cure getting some mercenary camps. Baylag's going to die on the bottom. Top wall is fallen. Bot wall is also fallen, as it looks like this bot wall is now going to be taking a lot of pressure here. Red Robot looking to clear it up. Cure able to take out the mid siege. But I mean, this game is slowly going in favor of the side of Simplicity, and I think that their team fight is going to be better in the late game as well.
Wave's going to be cleaned out very nicely. It's a full slam build on that Sonya. Siege tactics, very sensible for Hammer. Not going to go with any memes here. Johanna or Valkyrie later on are going to be the tools that could potentially give Oxygen the chance to get onto Lutano. So in this case, a little bit safer. There's the armor applied. Masquerade keeping them topped up. And yeah, these lanes ain't looking so hot.
Yeah, as it looks like Madara is going to be pressuring in, walking up towards Masquerade. Lutano and Masquerade are just pressuring on the top side. Collusion actually going to be Zing out here as Red Robot and Nasmus are going to be able to invade the night camp and take it. That's actually pretty big. A bit too greedy for the side of Simplicity, as they were trying to take Siege and Night at the same time, and a good read coming out by Oxygen.
We see all the attempts to try and gain the re-engage value by teleporting Collusion onto Cure and then spearing in, but they were a little mistimed and they missed the spear, so as such, not able to achieve the move. Sylve has perished, is going to be finished off, so first, the second kill of the game going over to Oxygen Esports, if you don't count all the Vikings. As we do see good CC onto Red Robot. The hyper carry Eric here to help doing the best he can, but there's only so much he can do. He abandons Red Robot, who will be taken out.
Yeah, and this should be the first tribute of the game going the way of Simplicity. As the Collusion you see is doing a pretty good job here, just tanking the objective minions, and that way Uther can cap. Right Wing taking a lot of damage actually to the objective minions though. But I mean, Uther was there to heal him up. Level 7 about to be achieved by both teams. Mule is a big thing to note for Abathur. Will be able to keep these structures alive if he does opt to go for it, but actually chooses to not. Is this going to be a monstrosity again? Simplicity, Cure looking to pressure in. Looks like they're trying to get this bottom for it. Level 7 has not been achieved yet for the side of Simplicity though.
Let's see what they can do. The pressure is applied, but Lutano tanks through. Cure is trying to get onto Nasmus, but that Eric the Swift going to make him so hard to lock down. He's able to sneak away there. In the meantime, Vikings are still soaking. Experience is still going in favor of Oxygen Esports, and they're gaining value from this, keeping pressure on, trying to deny the rotations.
Yeah, it looks like Simplicity, Collusion on the bot side actually pushing up a bit too far here. Simplicity falling apart in the last couple of minutes. Honestly, Oxygen been getting a lot of good rotates here, getting a lot of kills set up. Cure falling low, Nasmus looking to chase him down. Level 10 is going to be achieved first at this current rate for Oxygen, as they are about a full level up. That's the power of Abathur and Vikings coming into play. You miss almost no soak on the map if your players are playing correctly. Red Robot is going to travel the trip here and should be able to cap it.
Obviously, Siege is there for Hammer, but not able to get there in time. And like you say, this will be a seed going over to Oxygen Esports. They hold control. We see Sylve trying to deep push bot. Vikings bribing away the enemy Siege camp. And we're starting to see Oxygen Esports. They're beginning to gain momentum. And we're starting to see Simplicity falling apart at the scene with what looked good in the early game. Once their rhythm was disrupted, it's starting to fall apart a bit.
Yeah, it definitely feels like they're in a difficult situation, as, I mean, their comp wants to 5v5 team fight and they're not really able to, right? Like, double support is primarily strong when you're able to group up and have both those supports in the same lane. But Oxygen, with the, split push pressure of the Abathur and the Vikings, is able to really pull their composition apart.
Nasmus doing it as best as he can, really keeping the pressure on, keeping everyone interrupted. Play again. There is Monstrosity. As we have mentioned, gonna be lots of extra pressure. But Hammer can clear that up quickly. Down goes Baylog. They've managed to kill enough Vikings to equal 2 kills. As yeah, they're really trying to make the most of Mercenaries, really trying to keep the counter pressure going, but it's just falling more and more behind. Level 10 about to be available for Simplicity, and currently, Oxygen Esports not making the most of their timing to grab that tribute while they had the 10 advantage, so it is going to be got by Simplicity.
Yeah, it looks like level 10 has been achieved. Wrath, Napalm, Blink Heal, Mind Control potentially could be an option for the side, as Sylve is opting to hold. Same with the Uther. Hosty could potentially look for a stall heal, is not going to be able to. And that's going to be a second seed going the way of Oxygen Esports. Mind Control is going to be the choice for Sylvanas, so that does provide them a little bit more pick pressure. And is the Uther potentially going to go Divine Storm or Divine Shield? Okay, it is going to be Shield. I do like this, as it does provide a little bit of extra sustainability and survive.
Red Robot invading in. The Johanna Eric invade for the second time here. Cure this time. Drops Wrath the Berserker, gets Brightwing, deletes Eric, and Hosty has already started on this mercenary camp. They'll finish that off. Hammer engaged on, and will be finished off this time. Masquerade not able to keep him alive this time. Great engaging. Karasim has been playing really, really well. Banana Age has been keeping this Hammer busy.
Yeah, Cure looking to chunk some damage into Red Robot here is just going to be chasing him down, doing a lot of slams. But in the bot side, Sylvanas as well as Brightwing are going to be getting a lot of pressure, potentially going to be able to get this fort. Hosty going to E out Collusion in a bit of a scary situation. Oh, Hosty is going to get Bless shielded here, and Collusion is just going to run the other way and most likely Z out, as that is going to be a dead Sylvanas for the side of Simplicity. But what do they get in return? A fort as well as Olaf.
There's no mule this game. It's the linked shield for Abathur for extra wave clear, so every fort they get is permanent damage for Simplicity, and that's their plan. They're still behind, almost a full level behind, but they're gaining value, finding kills here and there, getting forts. They're creeping their way towards being in this game.
Yeah, I mean, Simplicity structurally is ahead in this game. So even though they are behind in kills, behind on XP, they are, ahead in win conditions, right? If they win another team fight, let's say they get a 5-10, or I mean, probably a 4-person team wipe. I mean, it's an Abathur and a Viking. It's hard. A 3-person team wipe, and then they might be able to pressure bot wall as well as potentially bot keep.
Let's see what they can do as Nasmus. Again, keeps the rotation going, making the most out of Eric the Swift. Lutano sieging in, getting that napalm. Here comes Red Robot, interrupted by Masquerade. Lutano taking the long rotation now. That is the longest mind control I have ever seen, but it just kept him going the exact same way he was going. So full disengage from Simplicity.
Yeah, and level 13 has now been achieved by both teams. Let's see if we see... Okay, Vikings are going to be flanking in here. Cure looking to hit Olaf. 7-sided coming out. A good D-shield from Masquerade to mitigate a lot of that damage. And that's going to be Bless Shield as well as 7-sided down. But D-shield has been used for the side of Simplicity. But a lot of the kill pressure for the side of Oxygen is no longer here. And whichever team gets this seed is going to be getting the Garden Terror.
They're trying to team fight, but this is what Oxygen's comp doesn't really do. They don't team fight, but they've been forced to, due to the fact that this objective would have been the Terrors, like you said. They have to give it up. The damage is too high. Protection onto Lutano, too good. And as such, first Plant Terrors go over to Simplicity, who are already pushing in the bot lane, setting up. They're already pressuring Keep, because that's what you got to do against this comp. You got to win early versus Abathur Vikings, or they will out-soak you. You're already behind, so they're pressuring Keeps.
Yeah, I like this decision coming out by Simplicity, keeping the aggression up. Red Robot taking a decent amount of damage here, as it looks like Banana is going to be able to queue out. Mind Control coming out onto Madara. Are they going to be able to finish off the kill? No, but that is going to be a very chunked out Cassia, and now Hosty may potentially be able to use Black Arrows, but this is going to be a keep falling for the side of Oxygen, and Simplicity has got to be happy with this first terror phase, getting a keep.
That is really good news for them. The Vikings and Abathur were able to de-push the other Terrors. No forts went down, but that is value there. Blinking over the mine before they finish it off. Star points are gained. They're going to try and get Nasmus while they still have a little bit of time. Last Plant Terror is still pushing the core, by the way. Not going to get its way through the shield, but it's getting some extra pressure while it can. As Nasmus continues to be annoying.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the name of the game as Vikings. You just want to be as annoying as you can. Cure barely going to miss the spear there. Good juke coming out from Nasmus. I mean, Balog, or Little Eric, such a hard hero to hit, as his hitbox is just so small and he's so speedy quick. He's like a little hyper carry, honestly. Any Vikings player will tell you, like, that's the hero that you play, is like you run around with Eric and then Olaf and Balog just soak lanes.
That's the strat. Until you get to late game when Larson in charge comes in, and then suddenly Olaf is the big hyper carry. That's where you get the value. But for now, in this case, Eric is the one continuously interrupting, continuously being annoying like a shorter red Lucio, as he is dead. Rip.
Yep, and Eric is going to fall. Level 16 has not yet been achieved for the side of Simplicity, and because of that, Oxygen is looking to pressure in here. May go for the Bless Shield plus the 7-sided combo. Mind Control is barely going to miss. Bless Shield is going to come out, and they're not going to be able to get kills off of that. We could see Simplicity potentially look to start up their Knights here. Oh, as it looks like there is a pretty big bot pressure here. Cascon using the ultimate evolution, or the monstrosity, to pressure pretty hard down here.
They're going to make their way in, though. Brightwing can, of course, teleport in at any moment. Is going to come in onto Cure. They want to try and get the kill there. They interrupt the monstrosity burrowing. They will finish that off. Going to reset all the stacks on that, but everyone else was able to retreat. Next objective will be Terrors for the side of Oxygen Esports. So Simplicity, they just have to keep running it down on every single seed at this point.
Yeah, I mean, but we're pretty much approaching late game, right? They're already level 16. There's only one more talent tier to achieve, and they're most likely going to hit it around the same time as the opponent. I think Simplicity is pretty happy with the pacing of the game. As you know, level 20, once you reach that, there's no other XP spikes to be gained, right? Outside of small stat increases. And Simplicity, I think their comp is better in these 5v5 team fights.
They're going to creep forward. There is an Abathur shielded minion wave push in top lane, but it's not going to get the keep. It's just going to get a good chunk of damage. Simplicity, they force their way forward, and no one's contesting, meaning this is like... we will see one interrupt from Red Robot. He misses. That's actually going to be the seed going over to the side of Simplicity, and they deny another Terror.
Yeah, good job coming out by Simplicity there. But during all of that, Oxygen was able to get about half a level, so they will be winning the race to level 20. But is that going to be able to net them a, Garden Terror? And if they get the Garden Terror, what are they able to get off of it? Because right now, if Simplicity wins a 5v5 team fight, they're going to be able to go on to the core of Oxygen Esports, whereas Oxygen is going to have to go through a fort and a keep. So from a win con position, I feel like Simplicity in a much better situation. That being said, it really is anyone's game at this point. Level 16 has been achieved for the Vikings, so they have that one-shot potential with Olaf being large and in charge.
Napalming in, they disable the fort. Vikings are here, but the rotations are coming for the rest of Oxygen Esports. Disengage already happening. They boost away with Lutano. Cure will be the one to buy some time. They don't finish the fort though.
Yeah, decent amount of damage though. And the seed is now going to be spawning. Banana looking for a kill potentially. Vikings are coming in as well. They do have play again, so they can. Okay, and I like this decision coming out by Oxygen. They don't like that choke they were walking in, so they are going to walk around to a different one. Cure is going to be taking a decent amount of damage here. Actually, 7-sided coming out. Good D shield by Masquerade. That's on like 200 ping as well. Really good job coming out by him. And Collusion is going to be able to cap the trib. So one more seed is needed for both teams to secure the Garden Terror. If Simplicity gets it, it's probably going to be a potentially GG push. If Oxygen gets it, they could potentially get a GG push as well, though they would need to get a couple kills to go with it.
Simplicity are winning this game in the vague sense of the term. They have structure advantage, they're winning most objectives, they're not going to hit 21st, but they are crawling towards victory. Oxygen Esports, their win condition is quite reliant on having level 20, which they will get, but they are going to have a lot more tools to do so. The Infinite Lightning is going to be a lot more damage. The Abathur is desperately trying to keep that split push going to give them some kind of endgame condition. Because the idea here, keep pushing in, gain value by trying to take out forts and keeps, and then use level 20 to push for win. But right now, that's not happening because Simplicity are deep pushing everything so well.
Yeah, really good job coming out by Simplicity here. And level 20 is fast approaching for the side of Oxygen. This Garden Terror may potentially have to be given up for the side of Simplicity if they're not able to get a fight here really fast. They want to zone off. They want to push off before level 20 is achieved for the side of Oxygen, as it is creeping closer. Vikings and Abathur are both split pushing and soaking, and it looks like Simplicity is just going to give the Garden Terror. I like this, honestly. Like, dying here is what would be really scary. As long as they're able to survive, they will be able to defend, as they have Sylvanas and Hammer. And Red Robot's looking for a flank here, actually, onto Masquerade. He does have D-Shield, so he should be okay.
Double stun for fun, mind control, ball lightning, but Masquerade is bodied.
Oh, wait. Sonya dies as well.
Wait, what? Where? Oh, it was the Vikings, Nordic Attack Squad in mid lane. The percentage damage talent for the Vikings with Fury of the Storm on level 20 for extra burst. They went for the full yeet and finished Sonya with it.
I mean, both of those heroes are dead for 40 seconds. The Garden Terrors are pushing. This is a potential GG push for the side of Oxygen, as the top Terror is still incredibly healthy. Lutano trying to do everything he can to defend, but Madara as well as Banana are going to be pressuring up really hard. Level 20 has still not been achieved for the side of Simplicity, as they are going to be trying to clear this out. Nasmus doing a decent amount of damage to Hosty on that Sylvanas. Infinite Ball of Lightning actually going to get stopped, and it's going to be put on a 40-second cooldown. Madara taking a lot of damage, and Oxygen, are they going to look for a potential end here? Level 20 still has not been achieved for the side of Simplicity. Tetcher, it's an absolute brawl here. It looks like Oxygen's going to try and end it, as Hosty's going to get blessed shielded.
Blink heal comes in onto Host. He keeps him alive, and the waves are cleared. It's exactly what we talked about of Oxygen just waiting for 20 and then trying to end with a push. But the fact is, they didn't have enough push. If they'd had more time with that Terror, they might have got the game there. But in this case, this was too good of a defense by Simplicity. Too good map control throughout the game, and they are still in it. But this is risky. Largen in charge, stuns him out, and Peekaboo sees everything.
Yeah, Cure walking over to Red Robot here, looking to do some damage. Wrath is potentially going to be on cooldown for 60 seconds, as Cure did use that. Next, Garden Terror. I mean, so here's part of the thing about Garden of Terror, guys, is once you have, used your Garden Seeds, now they have to get 3 tribs for the side of Oxygen before they can get another Terror. And that's going to be the, around level 24, level 25, if they get the next couple of tribs. So really, the game is, Hosty, the game is really, is Simplicity gonna, the teams are gonna be fighting around the tribs. And if Simplicity gets it, they will potentially have a GG push, but Oxygen's win condition is a bit far away.
Simplicity will back away. They do get their siege camp this time. Collusion trying to global soak, but in this case, they do spot Red Robot. Spear lands, but it is iron-skinned. Good disengage by the members of Oxygen.
Yeah, both teams posturing here. Seed spawning in 20 seconds. I'd expect to see Simplicity just give this one up, as it is pretty poor positioning for them.
Yeah, they just need to wait until they get a friendly seed at this point. They're 2 out of 3. If they can do that, they're almost certain to get a fort, likely 2 forts. And then the question is, can they get enough push to end the game? Like you said, they have that win condition. They just need the angles and they need the right team fight. But now, Oxygen, they're going to be very patient. They don't need to get this. They also have proxy Vikings set up because the burst on these Vikings is ridiculous. It is absolutely insane with this build and an Abathur on their head.
Yeah, I mean, a really smart job coming out by Nasmus, just waiting in the bush, looking for any kill potential that he can. And Uther, Masquerade, potentially, is going to be able to sniff them out. Sees Nasmus. Looks like they are going to be going on to Lutano here. Not going to actually be able to get the kill.
Great siege tactics to block the stun.
Yeah. Good job coming out from Simplicity there.
We're down to a defense. Still Simplicity just sitting in their base, wasting, just buying time, waiting this out. Monstrosity is dead again, so they're going to have to wait for that to respawn. Vikings are continuously split pushing. They can always sacrifice a Viking. They have play again. They will always have the right amount for a team fight.
Yeah, I mean, this is a pretty decent trib spawn for the side of Simplicity. I wouldn't be surprised if they end up fighting this one, as it is going to be pretty close to their base, which means there's not going to be a lot of Vikings flanks that are possible. As it looks like, guys, this is really going to be the trib fight that it comes down to. If Simplicity wins this fight and gets the Garden Terror, this may potentially be a GG. If Oxygen gets a team wipe, they can end the game, as they are so close to the base of Simplicity. Guys, this is what it all comes down to.
Bit of burst onto Cure, not enough to follow up. Positioning way better for Oxygen. They are completely cutting off this tribute. Stun onto Cure. Here comes Brightwing. Big shield. They dive forward. Infinite Lightning is splitting between Cure and Hosty. Hosty will finally back away. Play again. Vikings returned. All 3, so they have that percentage damage again. Lutano creeps forward, looking for his angle.
Cure able to keep his Wrath up, does hit a spear on Eric there. Collusion looking to pressure the trib. Red Robot flanking around, does have the Blessed Shield, may potentially look for them. Masquerade doing a good job zoning with his body there. Tense moment here as Nasmus is potentially flanking around the top side. Good stun coming out by Masquerade there onto Olaf. Actually, if they're able to kill Olaf, it's big, as that is going to be the stun, and a lot of the one-shot potential is now gone for the side of the Viking, as play again is going to be on cooldown for another 60 seconds.
No play again is huge right now, as we do see immediately Oxygen Esports reacting to the win condition. They head down to bot. That's where the game could be ended through, so they go to deal with that. This Plant Terror is actually going to help with top lane, which was already pushing in. That was a risk for Simplicity, but now Cure in position. He looks for Banana H first, gets absolutely dunked on, mistimes it, Transgression baits him out as Banana H backs away.
Yeah, but it looks like Simplicity, they want to go for the core here. They have really good core damage with the Sylvanas, with the Sonya, with the Hammer. Red Robot taking a decent amount of damage here. Madara looking to pressure. Still no Olaf for 20 seconds. Cure going to hit the core here, looking to zone off Baylog. Wrath of the Berserker is going to fall down now. No Wrath for another 30 seconds. Lutano is going to get Blessed Shielded here. Mind Control coming out, and the D-Shield is unable to come out. Masquerade maybe looking to save Cure here. Good D-Shield going out onto Cure, stopping a lot of damage, but I don't believe Simplicity can end at this point. They've lost their hammer. They're going to have to kite out. Nasmus falling low. Collusion looking to kite. Baylog is going to die. Cure stepping back in. No Wrath of the Berserker for another 10 seconds. Red Robot taking a decent amount of damage. Play again, activated by the Vikings. Simplicity, I don't think you want this.
They don't want to take this fight. They're going to get Eric, though. If they can get it while Play Again is down, it's big, but they can't find it. They've gone too deep. They stayed too long. They are in trouble. Masquerade does have redemption, but that's a bad place to die. He needs to find a safe place to port once he revives, and they know they are going to stagger him as fast as they can. And Masquerade is about to have a bad day. Infinite Lightning finishes him off, and that's a huge staggered death.
Yeah, Vikings are going to be looking for a potential one-shot here. Hosty in a bit of a scary situation, but the Vikings are alone here. Hammer going to be respawned in 4 seconds, but they don't have the D-Shield to save for the one-shot. And now the Garden Terror advantage is going to be going the way of Oxygen, as they have already gotten 1 seed and only need 2 more to spawn a Garden Terror.
Kyo going to be backing away. He doesn't want to take any fights right now. Just needs to wait for Uther. Take some time. Right now, this game's probably going on for a while more. Unless Oxygen Esports are able to get multiple kills, this game probably won't end until at least level 26 for Oxygen, because this is going to take a while trying to find their opportunity. This game may even just end to catapults at this point, as Simplicity do just counter push. 13 seconds left until Uther. Their wave clear is so fast. But it doesn't matter while the Vikings are literally grabbing almost every mercenary camp on the map simultaneously at this point.
Yeah, double siege camp is going to be pressuring in. Catapults as well as Little Eric are going to be, hitting the mid keep. Cure, Masquerade has respawned now, so it is going to be a 5v5 again, as Lutano is looking to push out this mid lane. There is going to be a lot of bot pressure for the side of Oxygen. And this trip spawn, the question is Simplicity going to try and fight this? From the way they're positioning right now, it looks like they are just going to give it up and clear out their lanes. I like this, as there is a lot of map pressure going the way of them this game.
Hypercapacitors for Lutano. We've already seen them in play in that last push into the bottom lane, but it's so much damage in these team fights. But of course, Lutano is the target, so he's not getting as much value out of it as he would like, because he's just getting focused so hard consistently. Seed is grabbed by Oxygen Esports, and they're positioning quite aggressively. In the meantime, Vikings grabbing a Bruiser camp, keeping pressure on the map. Monstrosity's back and is pushing top lane.
Yeah, Oxygen able to take out their Bruiser camp. Gonna have a lot of pressure in the top lane. Level 23 to 24. Next Garden Terror is going to go the way of Oxygen. I believe if Simplicity gives that up, they are going to lose the game, as that will be like a 25-minute Terror. Lutano looking to kite out here. Red Robot is barely going to miss the Bless Shield. Cure taking a decent amount of damage, using Bless Shield as well as... Oh, Nasmus is going to lose Little Eric, but everyone on the side of Oxygen is out. They're just kiting. They're just running away. They're just playing the map. Really good late game rotations coming out for the side of Oxygen.
I don't know what team we're supposed to be watching, but Lutano played a sidestep king there on that Bless Shield to avoid getting picked off. Was really nicely done, and they're able to pick off Olaf, but Play Again is available. So still percentage damage. They miss the Spirit to Red Robot. If they can pick him off before the fight, it is big. Monstrosity is just thrown at the enemy team as a sacrifice to buy them some time. In the meantime, Vikings pushing literally every lane. Top lane's already pushing up with catapults. Baylog's pushing bot, and Eric is trying to grab a keep.
Yeah, Little Eric pressuring in the mid lane, as it looks like Lutano, Cure, Masquerade, and Hosty are going to be looking to pressure in here. They're using the global pressure of the Brightwing to try and defend the mid keep, but Nasmus is going to be able to get it. And it looks like Little Eric's going to die as well, so there's only Baylog left, and Baylog's actually bottom, but Cure taking a lot of damage is going to get blown up. And this could potentially be the Garden Terror going the way of Oxygen. Lutano trying his best to kite out. Is Brightwing going to be able to save him? No! The Brightwing TP was just a little bit too late, and this is going to be game number 4 going the way of Oxygen, as Hammer and Sonya are dead, and these Garden Terrors are walking to the core.
2 Plant Terrors going to be making their way onto the core. Mata is already here for this one. Hosty, the only damage available, and that Plant Terror is completely healthy. That's going to be game number 4. We're heading to a game number 5, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to have a tiebreaker in this final game of day number 1.
What a crazy series so far. Holy moly. I really have to pee. That last game went so long. Okay, so I am AFK, Tetcher. Wow, What a game!
What a
Simplicity,
game.
though. They were so close to winning, man. Because if they got that 3-1, it would have felt so good.
It would have been absolutely amazing. You go use the bathroom. I'm going to talk about these statistics here. Cure somehow topping the hero damage for his team because he was the one who was left alone the most, just doing as much as he could. Lutano was of course targeted. Sylve could never step up because if she was stepped up, she's further forward than Hammer and is getting absolutely deleted. So in this case, played a little bit further back, and that's why we saw Sonya Cure topping the damage chart there. But for the side of Simplicity, they did play that very smart. They did try to go for an early lead, but the second they lost Hammer on that bottom push, and the second they weren't able to capitalize early enough, the second we went to late game, is when Oxygen finally started to actually get a win. And we saw that Nordic attack squad for the Vikings. That was a huge boost in their potential and their actual push value to be able to actually pick people off in team fights. They had an assassin worth of a hero in those fights now with that Nordic attack squad. Very sensible, good for late game. Abatha just all in on split push. Multiple shields, going with the monstrosity. He didn't obviously go for Locust because he's not a Storm Division player, Storm League player, sorry. But it was smart. It was a smart play that they did work out, and I do like Simplicity. They reacted well and they played well, but they started to fall apart the second their strategy began to be actually attacked. The second it was hit. It looks beautiful. It's like a house of cards. It looked beautiful, but everything just got no. But the second you poke it with a finger, it began to fall apart a bit. And so, sure, some bits of it stood up for a long time, but eventually it all came down. Feels good. So, we're going to be getting ready for game number 5. Mainstream's on a break, so we have a little bit of time to wait before they return. Feels good. If you're watching on my channel, consider dropping a sub. We're at 105 subs right now. I was aiming for 150 before Christmas. Not sure that's too feasible, but the goal is there. I appreciate everyone who's been so supportive throughout today's stream. If you're watching on Udall's stream, drop me a follow. If you're watching on my stream, head over to Michael Udall and drop him a follow as well. It's been fun casting with him today. I have had a lovely time. Feels good. And Zaidhide, hello friend. Thank you very much for the follow. So, like I said, we're going to be getting ready to jump into game number 5 at this point, the final game of day number 1. And of course, though, we have more games tomorrow. I don't know if we cast them together or not, but there are games. And those will be 30k versus Granite Gaming, and we will see Wild Hearts versus Sidestep Kings. Very entertaining games. Both of those series should be really fun. I think those should be really good. You can have a look at the table and see why. Sidestep Kings, they're beginning to scale since they've reached the latter half of the season. And Granite Gaming versus 30k, they're pretty close in terms of scores. 30k performing a little bit stronger. But overall, it should still be a fun game with Granite Gaming being the first team to beat Oxygen Esports in the season. So we know they have that potential. Just don't pick Butcher, please, unless you really, really believe in it. But yeah. Should be fun. We have a fun series coming up for you. Those games, again, will be tomorrow. For now, this is going to be the final map. No matter what happens, this map will end the series. And we can have a look at some of these preference picks. The Hogger so far has shown up a couple times in the games, but has yet to actually be played, only showing up in the ban phase. Oxygen have yet to play Hogger. It's only been played by Simplicity between these two teams, with a currently 50% win rate, only winning 1 and losing 1, appearing in only 2 games. Oxygen, they of course, we know they have the Abathas, the Samuros, the Medivhs, they have Vikings. They have so many tools that make this chaotic that in terms of maps, I would honestly, if I was Simplicity, I'd pick the map. Because there's so much that's going to cause them problems, it might be worth just to try and take them to a standard map. The problem is, there aren't really any smaller standard maps left. They've played everything. Meaning that we're down to, I believe, Sky Temple and Towers. Neither of which I think are in favor of Simplicity. I think Oxygen might have advantage on 2 of those. So it's going to be interesting. Going to be interesting indeed. Well, then, we're just waiting for Udall to get back, and of course the mainstream to get back from having a cup of tea. Feels bad. And we'll be good to jump into game number 5. That will be the final game of today. So if you have any subs, jump them in. Enarian, I think I already said thank you to you, but I'll say it again just in case. Thank you very much for jumping in. Feels good. This series is ridiculously fun so far. Having a lovely time. There's an owl outside my window. Oh, there it goes. All right, cool. Well, hi, bye, owl. But there was an owl for just a little bit. You can still hear it. Oh, well. So, let's talk about other heroes that we could be seeing here. If we're looking at Towers of Doom or Sky Temple, the Abathur or the Vikings still very high in priority. Could absolutely be seen returning here. We have like I said, the Vikings or the Abathur. In terms of top lane control, we see both these teams do like the Leoric, so that could sneak in as a good soak hero and get some serious value there. For the side of Simplicity, they would love to get that Hogger in, but they just can't find the spot. It's just being banned at every turn. Oxygen just don't want to deal with it. For good reason. Feels good. Message from Tyrande. Yeah, I got a Sentinel. Feels good. Feels D-Spam. Alrighty, well. Big hype team. So yeah, I'm pretty sure I've got that right on the maps. I think Battlefield was already played in like game number 1. And that's the only other one I think that would be different. Because I know Tomb's banned out. Hang on, I'm going to check quickly because I can refresh. I can refresh this page and I can see who's played what? Oh, this isn't up to date. Wonderful. So yeah, Infernal and Battlefield. Yes, Infernal, Battlefield, Volskaya were just played. And the last map was Garden. So that leaves... Yeah, Dragon's banned, Tomb is banned. So yeah, that leaves Towers and Sky left. Which is, in my opinion, maps that are definitely leaning a bit towards Oxygen as opposed to Simplicity. And that sounds like an Udall.
I'm back, Tetcher, and
welcome.
I agree with you. I do think Towers of Doom favors Oxygen, but one thing to note, Prismat was subbed out that last game.
True.
Like, are they gonna sub Prismat back in? Why did they sub him out?
Maybe they seem to use it for Cascon being on the Abathur, and again, the 2 remaining maps, Towers and Sky, those are the only 2 maps remaining if my maths is right. Both of them are really good Abathur maps. So maybe they keep Cascon in?
Maybe. I mean, I wonder if Simplicity would just ban the Abathur, right? Because I feel like Prismat has a bigger hero pool than Cascon, so like maybe they could just target ban Cascon.
Maybe. Cascon is like a support main usually, but he is flexing a bit here.
Like a bit like June, like what June's doing, or
a little bit. I mean, it's very similar actually. One of Cascon's best heroes is Malfurion as well, so it kind of works pretty similar. The EU June, the Cascoon. That's a Pokemon.
Yeah, it's a pretty good one. Yeah, I mean, getting into it, I'm pretty excited to see Game 5. I mean, this series has been an absolute nail biter. It's gone down to the wire, pretty back and forth. Both teams came to play today, and we've seen some interesting stuff. We've seen some crazy Zeratul plays, and I'm excited to see what Game 5 is. And it looks like I peeked the main broadcast, and it's going to be Sky Temple, and it looks like the side of Simplicity is the one that chose the map. I mean, this is a map that Team Freedom used to really run a lot on and play a lot of macro. So I think this should be a good one. And Prismat is going to be back subbed in. So that is another thing to know, is that Cascon is not playing this game.
Makes sense. We don't have any legacy either. We're back to standard rosters for both of these teams. Let's get this going. So, Sky Temple is the map, like you said, first pick over to Simplicity. So the map choice was of Oxygen.
Oh, I bungled that. My bad.
You good. You goodsies.
But this does open up they potentially could pick Zeratul in the 2-3 like they did on Volskaya for Cure. That's something that maybe Oxygen will consider banning Zeratul in the 1-2 because of.
It's a good thought. We'll see. I'm going to start off with the Chromie ban. Try and open up an Abathur for themselves. Simplicity do play the Abathur. Going to start off with the Medivh. So yeah, Hogger is available. Abathur, Vikings, Zeratul. There goes Abathur. Keeping that out of the question here. Just playing it safe. There goes
And the
Hogger.
Hogger, yeah, I'll say Hogger ban is a really good one. I mean, a hero that is pretty much busted on release. You know, it's how it be sometimes. So I like the Hogger ban. And the question is going to be, what is the first pick? Is it something like a Stukov? Are they afraid of a Vikings potentially? Is it a Gray main? And it is going to be an Uther actually. So it looks like they are going to threaten the double support again.
It keeps working. They need to make sure they have enough wave clear to deal with the fact that this map is big. Oxygen, though, they now have a lot of potential options open. They can start off simple, though, and a composition that has worked for them repeatedly today. They start with Johanna and Cassia. Something with lots of blinds, something that can try and force its way into Uther to engage. It's a sensible start.
Yeah, I mean, a solid 1-2 provides blinds, 2 really tanky heroes, which, you know, goes pretty good into the things that, okay, is this game 1 again?
It's looking like it.
Malthael Anna is going to be the response. I mean, we've gone full circle. This looks very similar to the first draft we had. Uther, Malthael Anna for the side of Simplicity, and Oxygen has Johanna Cassia. And I'll be curious to see, does Simplicity, you know, potentially ban out the Diva, something that Oxygen ran last time they had this composition, or is there something else that scares them more?
Let's see. They're going to ban out the Sylvanas, another very good nano boost target. They're not afraid of the... They're more afraid of the Sylvanas than the Vala in this case. Simplicity. I think you said Diva would be pretty solid here. Last time it was Yarel in game number 1. Or am I thinking of... No, I'm thinking of Series 1.
Yeah, I thought it was Diva that they had. I may be
right.
incorrect, though, because it was Infernal Shrines. Yeah, I thought they had Diva.
Yeah, no, it's Diva. I'm getting mixed up with Series 1. They're going to ban out the Zeratul, something that Cure could have played, but Cure's pretty happy on that Malthael, and they don't want someone to blow up Ana.
Yeah, and, you know, Madara is going to be looking... I mean, something like a Falstad could be pretty good for the Tormented Souls. I mean, depending on, like, you can gust Tormented Souls away. The Global is also good on this map. Okay, so they are going to go with Blaze as well as Brightwing. So the Blaze Bunker... The bunker is going to be their answer to Tormented Souls, is that when Tormented Souls come out, we're going to drop a bunker, everyone get inside it, and then by the time they kill the bunker, you know, they won't have time to, like, the Tormented Souls will not be running anymore.
Gives them a lot of extra time, so now Simplicity, what do they work around this with? They need something that can kill a bunker, so that would be ideal. So another damage dealer will be a requirement here. Vala's back, same comp, exact same comp, cool.
Deja vu. I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Exactly.
Yeah, as the great saying goes. And Zul, I mean, really good on this map. I feel like Simplicity, you've got to be happy with this. I mean, going into this is a comp that you've already won with. It looks pretty good into the composition of Oxygen Esports, but what is going to be the last pick for them? Is it going to be, you know, something like a Li Ning, a Hanzo?
Or the Falstad, like you suggested. Something
The
like disengage.
Falstad, okay.
Hey, nailed it in one.
I believed in the Falstad. I just didn't know. Like, I thought they would might. I really like this. Okay, I want Simplicity to win, but I like Oxygen's draft better. They have 2 globals. They have the gust. They have the bunker. They have a lot of saves. The only thing is maybe they don't have enough damage to actually kill anything through the double support, but I feel like they're just going to out macro them and out rotate them with the double global, as well as the Johanna and Blaze wave clear. I really like the draft coming out for the side of Oxygen.
This is where Oxygen have found a lot of their victories, with their macro, being able to control the map a little bit better than Simplicity, but Simplicity have found some insane fights, and this comp, it wins fights. So if they can find the fights they're looking for, this could be good.
Yeah, this is going to be a very exciting series, guys. I mean, it's been an exciting series. This is going to be an exciting last game to end the series. Game number 5. The series is tied up 2-2. And this really is the decider for Oxygen. Are they going to be the 3rd seed? Because if they win this game, then destiny's in their hands, right? So for the team of 30K, we need Oxygen to lose. We need something extraneous to happen for us to have the option to get 3rd seed. For them, their fate is in their hands. If they win this game, then they will be securing that 3rd seed. And getting into it, Simplicity on the left. In the blue, we have Collusion playing Uther. And you're going to have to go, Tetcher.
Okay, on the right, it's Oxygen, Banana Rage on Brightwing, Prisma, AKP on the Cassia, Madara on Falstad, Nasmus on Blaze, and Red Robot is playing Johanna.
And
they're just
on
not
the
show
left,
us. They just won't do it.
We're just going to follow both teams. Going to be walking towards the eye here, as it looks like, we have Collusion playing the Earther, Lutana on the Vala, Cure playing the Malthael, Hosty on the Anna, and Lutano or Masquerade on the Zool, as it looks like Cure actually taking a decent amount of damage on the Malthael here, as both teams are content to just brawl at the level 1.
Right Wing using the Pixie Dust to cleanse out the root from Zool, but a lot of damage taken by both teams, but definitely Oxygen Esports coming away with more health at the end there. But yeah, you called it correctly in terms of the statistics. This is required. Simply you have to lose for 30k to steal that 3rd place. So the maximum score could be 17 without it. Lutano backs away, able to avoid the fight. It's possible to do. They clear the minion waves. They got the 3-man up in top lane. Double support Vala. Zool able to wave clear super fast. The Malthael able to wave clear super fast. Simplicity just running 2 solo laners and this shit.
Double supports back, baby! As it looks like Vala and Uther are going to be rotating over to their knights. So it looks like Simplicity wants to have a heavy top push, as Malthael Cure is going to be starting the Knights or the siege by himself. They potentially could get invaded if Johanna does walk over. This could be a scary situation. Okay, but it looks like Cassie and Johanna are just going to be rotating to their own Knights as well. So both teams content to just take out their mercenary camps and equalize the map.
Yeah, Bruiser's on top, Knights siege on bot. Very simple stuff. No one's playing hyper aggressive since that early fight over the vision, which currently sits in hands of Oxygen Esports. Slightly faster camp clear for Vala and Ana up in the top lane because they are able to use the maximum AoE that Vala has. Whereas on the other side, Cassia does have AoE, but it's a little bit jankier in terms of actually hitting a full Bruiser camp.
Yeah, Madara on the Falstad here is going to be able to able to make it out, as it looks like it's the Blaze and Falstad in the side lane with the Zool and Malthael matching them. And on the top lane, you've got a big push coming out for both sides. Lutano on this Vala looking to chunk down the minions, as well as Red Robot using that level 4 condemned CDR to get a lot of wave clear out. And a big Knight push is going to be going the way of Oxygen.
They brought up Malthael to help declear this. Lots of AoE available here. Very sensible. For now, just poking him from range. He's gone for Black Harvest as well. There's lots of enemies for him to stack off of. Backlash for Masquerade, so no cooldown increase on his bone armor. Already getting popped, though, as he did get chunked by Falstad in the mid lane.
Yeah, Cure flanking in, helping his team clear out these Knights so that the top wall does not fall. Good rotations coming out by both teams, as it is going to be pretty much evened up in experience, level 6 to level 6. As Prismat is going to be pressuring in the top lane. A good sleep coming out by Hosty here as Cure and Collusion. Oh, Collusion with a good hold on the stun. Banana trying to get the preemptive cleanse out onto the stun, but Collusion reading it is not going to allow that to happen, and Prismat is now going to be chunked because of it.
Nicely done, avoiding the fight, as we do see Temples already being channeled by both these teams. Currently mid, held by Oxygen Esports. Blaze holding that top. We see Cure is going to be channeling. That's a little bit of an overextension by Lutano, but he's able to disengage, able to roll away as Cure comes in. He's not just for a team fight here, he's more for stacks than anything else, as Lutano again goes in, and this time is going to be picked off, coming in at very low health.
Yeah, Banana taking a decent amount of damage. Prismat as well. Cure stacking up pretty well here. A big sleep coming out by Hosty, actually. Madara flying in, and Red Robot is going to be pushed off. All 3 heroes taking a lot of damage. And a really good sleep all set up by Hosty. Hosty trying to cat out here. Another sleep is going to come out, and he will be able to walk away.
Zool mixing up the build a bit here. Masquerade not going for a full tank build, going for a variation of a tank build with completely different talents. Going with the Reaper's Toll, the cooldown reduction on his Spectral Scythe to give himself more skeletons and quick wave clear. He then goes for Wall of Bones, and this can in theory combo into Kalad's Edict at level 20 to give him super fast cooldowns on his heroic, which could be either one in this case, but more likely going to be the Poison Nova, and also to give him cooldown on that bone armor, which will give him a lot of sustain come late game.
Yeah, Masquerade doing a good job this game, not getting picked off. I mean, it's a pretty difficult game as they do have double global, and Madara going to be using the bribe, stealing the siege camp of, you know, the enemy team, able to get those pretty aggressive into the base and forcing the enemy to rotate and clear those up.
Nicely done. Simplicity, they have a lot of wave clearing to do, and Cure is on point with that. In the meantime, Global's being soaked. Brightwing up in top lane. Banana Rage getting value. Nasmus making the most of those Incinerator Gauntlets and that Adrenaline Stim Pack to just delete waves. Feels good. Gives them so much more control over the map.
Yeah, Malthael down here. Cure securing the globe for his team. Taking a lot of damage for it, though. Good cleanse coming out by Collusion as Cure is going to be taking a lot of damage. Hosty barely able to keep him alive. as Madara will follow down to half HP as well. But during all of this, Zool on the top side is going to be pressuring, getting a decent amount of value as Brightwing doesn't actually win that 1v1.
So we'll continue to keep pushing. In fact, he's got skillies for days. No jailers, so we can't spam them all the way during the fights. But level 10 is still going to be hit early for Oxygen Esports. Half a level early, in fact. And there are literally 0 surprises.
Yeah, I mean, no Valk. I mean, I think no Valk is good, actually. I think Infinite Ball would be really good into the support. Prism, I mean, a really good DPS player. Did opt to go Charge Strikes instead of Q build Quest.
Oh, yeah.
Which, you know, I do like. I do think, like, I think it's personal preference. I think both of them are really good. Like, I don't have one that I think is a lot better than the other. I think it just comes down to personal play style. And I think Prism consistently goes Charge Strikes, which is pretty high value as he is a really aggressive DPS player.
Makes sense. And of course, this does get mitigated once you get those gloves of alacrity later on. We do see 87 stacks currently for Malthael, who's gone for last rites. Excuse me? That's interesting. Mixing it up. And Zool has gone for the Skeletal Mages.
Yeah, I mean, I don't love the last rights pick here. I mean, having the nano boosted Tormented Souls, I feel like would have been very good. Red Robot, Cure looking to kite out here in a bit of a scary situation. Nasmus is going to be going pretty aggressive here. Nano boost coming out. Cure doing a decent amount of damage. It's going to get de-shielded as well. Cure looking to kite back here as Madara might look for a gust as he's just sitting in that bush.
This seems to be the strategy. They're not using Tormented Souls because that would have been shut down by that bunker. So when you called out in the pre-game, so they're trying to rely on picking people up and just hoping they have enough damage either way. For now, stun onto Cure. Lutano focused down by Madara, but rolls away as they re-engage, trying to get onto Madara, but another barrel roll keeps him safe.
Yeah, Cure going to be pressuring on point here. Is going to be going in, actually. Good polymorph coming out from Banana. The Gust coming out. Cure in a bit of a scary situation here as Collusion is going to try and heal him. Cure trying to kite Hosty, hitting those heals. Quest completed at level 4 for the Malthael. A big Blaze Sun coming out by Nasmus as Masquerade and Collusion are barely going to be able to walk away, and Lutano doing some damage as well. Hosty hitting almost all of his heals during that team fight, but during all of this, big pressure is going to be happening in the top lane for Oxygen as they are going to be able to get the top fort off that.
And we're seeing the issue with this composition from Simplicity. Right now, they are lacking the damage they need to finish kills. They're dropping people low, but they're the ones who are coming out worse. This AoE damage from Prisma is doing insane here. The control that Falstad offers and the single target focus of this Lightning Rod build is working really well for them. It's going to take a bit for Simplicity to get into a position where they're actually going to be able to find some kills.
Yeah, and they are going to be down 3 forts. That is going to be Kata pressure going their way. That stacked with the 2 globals is going to be a very difficult situation for the side of Simplicity. Prismat pressuring up here before level 13 is achieved for the side of Simplicity. Nasmus actually going pretty deep and is going to be able to just walk out and be okay. But I like this constant pressure. They see Zool top. They have 13 advantage, and they're going to be able to pressure and get this wall here. Really good job coming out by the side of Oxygen.
Front wall taken out almost in its entirety. We see the extra scythes for Zool, bringing out the echoes of death. What will he go for 16? Is it going to be weakened or will it be the anti-heals? I'm going to go with the anti-heals as they try to focus in. Cure is dropped here. Very quick kill. Divine Shield was dropped into Lutano, but again, look at the health. Lutano just dropped all his damage, every ability, and everyone's completely healthy except for Red Robot.
Yeah, level 16 might be pretty big for them as Volo will get that Manticore, which does increase a lot of damage. Skeletal Mages coming out, trying to help clear up the wave here. Lutano looking to do what he can, pressuring out this wave. Polymorph is going to come down. Collusion is going to get stunned here. Red Robot looking to pressure. They're still trying to throw damage into the keep. Prismat is going to get stunned here. Good Gust coming out from Madara, and that is going to be Oxygen able to just disengage.
Unable to find the keep, but they've weakened it very, very well. A boss will smash through that with no problems. Everyone from Oxygen, like you say, will disengage and they will port back to base to reset. Simplicity, regroup. They check if the boss is being done and they're going to try and sneak it.
Oh, I like this play coming out by Simplicity. They see everyone on the top side. Really good call coming out for the side of Simplicity. I don't think they are going to stiffen out. Johanna, Cassia are just barely starting to rotate. And this is going to be the boss going the way of Simplicity.
Damn. Good play. Very sneaky. Immediate reaction, expecting the ports. They capitalize on it, and it worked very well. They're even able to make it in time for the Temple fights, which are going to be on even talents. They go for the Temple. The Oxygen are fighting over it. Contest them there.
Yeah, really good job coming out for the side of Simplicity. I mean, they needed that. They needed a breath of life. And level 16 is going to be pretty big for them. Cure actually going to get Bless Shielded here, taking a lot of damage. D-Shield coming out, going to help keep him alive. Cure still going aggressive. His team is rotating down here. Banana in a bit of a scary situation. Cure really trying to force the engage here, trying to force the fight. He is going to miss the last rights, meaning to put it on Banana, and is going to be putting it on Prismat. A good damage going onto the side of Oxygen, though. But this will allow Simplicity to cap the rest of the bot Temple, which should get them bot for and maybe potentially some mid-port value as well.
Nasmus was able to sneak in mid, though, and will cap the rest of mid for, so does get a couple shots back for his team. And again, these are going on to tier 2s, whereas everything Simplicity are doing is still targeting the fort, so targeting those tier 1 buildings. Cure really got to be careful of that rotation, but they're just going to go in for the re-engage. Gust not yet available, so this is their chance to try and pick someone off. Raid of Vengeance does come out, catches P, but it's a good stun from Nasmus on the wraparound, chunking out Lutano, who needs some healing if this fight is going to continue, but it looks like we see a disengage.
Yeah, but this is going to be a keep falling for Oxygen. They're going to be able to get Simplicity's keep here. And this is going to be disastrous, as that's going to be a lot more counter pressure going the way of Simplicity. But I mean, this game really is going to come down to this next 16-16 team fight over the next Temple phase, or we may see Simplicity actually look to force the issue on the top side and push with their Knights.
Let's see what they do. Lutano for now just clearing out those Knights, trying to get some extra value. Siege Giants on bot lane, which again, like you said, now pushing into keepless structures. There is that Manticore percentage damage for the Cassia as well. And very importantly, the Critterize from Brightwing is going to be a big deal here on catching people out. Decrepify for Zul, going with the slow on level 16. And he's almost certainly going to go for either Khan's Edict or Mortal Wound on level 20. It would be really weird if we went for Cold Hand. I've never seen anyone pick that talent, but we'll see.
Yeah, it looks like Cure's going pretty aggressive here. Is going to get de-shielded, really looking to force the fight. Bless Shield is now up. This might be a scary fight for Simplicity. Looks like they really do want to try and force here. Red Robot is going to be posturing, and it looks like Simplicity is going to back out with that D-Shield being down.
Slows being dropped by Masquerade, keeping people pressure, but they've got to get to bot lane. Simplicity will need to clean this up because there is a lot of pressure being done, but they're not out of this yet. They're still even on talents. The team fights, they have been struggling, but now they have Manticore, they have Massacre, and they might have Masquerade. Yep, he's able to disengage.
Yeah, Bless Shield down for 60 seconds. Good job coming out by Masquerade, baiting some cooldowns. Cure is bottom, so Simplicity does need to be a bit careful here, as it is a 4v5 in the mid lane. It all comes down to this, guys. Game number 5. Series is on the line. 3rd seed is on the line within CCL. This is a, very intense situation for both of these teams, as they both want to win this game. Nasmus is going to be, getting pressured here. Tetcher, it looks like both teams are just posturing. Cure going deep again.
He's in. Nano Boost has yet to be applied. They're looking to try and set it up, but again, look at how much damage Cure took. And they're not able to heal up fully. They're really saving these active reloads when they're needed, which is good. But now if they lose mid, they lose a keep. If they lose top, they probably lose a keep. This is a rough situation. They have to take the fight, and they're looking for it. They dive in. Nano Boost is still not burned. They still hold as Gust forces to disengage.
Yeah, Gust is down though, but during all of this, Falstad is just pressuring bottom, looking to get a lot of pressure, going to be taking out more sieges with the bribe, going to be looking to push another bot wave in, abusing that global pressure, as Masquerade is going to be pressuring the mid cap, and this is going to force Cure to actually back and be forced to push out that bot lane, as it looks like actually Masquerade is going to be the one rotating over there, so they may look to force mid with the 4v5.
Masquerade's wave clear is a tad bit faster than Cure's in this scenario with this Q build, but he's still being zoned, he's still melee. It's still problems. Madara is still pressuring. He's finally going to dance away because he needs to make sure he's in fly range to join his team. Mid will be held, so the question is, will Top Temple get a keep? And the answer, by the looks of it, is no. Top Temple will not finish a keep. Mid Temple is concluded, and they are deep for Madara. Can he escape? Gust is available. Can he fly? Oh, that's a teleport in from Banana Ace trying to buy them time. Can they get out? Because if not, they have just gifted Simplicity 2 kills as they go all the way. But Madara rolls away with the speed boost from that level 16. He gets out.
Yeah, Masquerade needs to be a bit careful here, as it looks like Oxygen is going to be trying to force top keep. It looks like the boss has been started up here by the side of Simplicity, and the Siege Giants did scout it out. They want to force the team fight before level 20, as Johanna as well as the Cassia are going to be flanking behind here. It is a bit of a scary situation for the Ana, as it's kind of like protect, save our Ana. Are they going to be able to get the boss here? Yes, they are, but they may potentially get forced on. Madara, Red Robot, posturing, level 20 has not been achieved. Gust is coming up in 10 seconds. Red Robot taking a lot of damage, actually. Bunker forced. Hosty getting flanked over by Madara. Hosty taking a lot of damage. Madara is going to be able to get the kill, and Cure's going to fall as well. That's 2 heroes dead for the side of the side of Simplicity. Madara going for a third. A good D-Shield stopping the wind tunnel, but Collusion is still going to die, and that is most likely going to be GG. Game number 5 going the way of Oxygen. I mean, Tetcher, is there anything they can do here?
Lutano's dropping everything he can into the damage output, but he is a hyper carry, but he is made of paper. He's trying to do what he can. In the meantime, Zul tries to counter push to make sure there are no minions with this, but it doesn't matter. With Johanna and Blaze, they have more than enough tankiness, and that is game number 5. And we're going to see Oxygen claim the 3-2 in this best of 5 series.
Yeah, a really well-played game by both teams, honestly. I mean, Oxygen at the end there, making the wise play, not taking the coin flip fight onto the boss, just taking the keep and then flanking and getting the good team fight. Really, really good macro rotations coming out by Oxygen the entire game. And that was a really good series. I mean, what a back and forth. We saw a lot of double support. We saw a lot of Vikings. And I am excited to see what playoffs is going to hold for CCL.
It's going to be so exciting. There's always the chance for that playoff run. There's always potential there. So let's have a look at the table to see where the standings will end up after today's games. So Simplicity will be on 2 and 5 near the bottom of the table. They will net with a map score of 11 and 17. So it is it is possible that someone could drop below them. If Granite go 0-3, then they could drop below Simplicity. So could Sidestep Kings in theory. So either of those teams could drop below Simplicity if they get 0-3 tomorrow.
Yeah, no, I mean, it definitely... I'm excited for playoffs, man. Ooh.
It's going to be so hype. It's going to be good. With
Is it Yeah, I just think the bracket system and then the best of 7 finals is going to be crazy, right? Isn't it best of 7 or is it best of 5?
I haven't got a clue. I have not seen this. I will have a look, see if it says. But if it is, that's crazy. That's a lot of games, and the fatigue factor could come in there. Yeah. Could be entertaining. Let's have a look. 1, 2, 3, 4. It shows 5, but the website I'm using has been wrong before. 5.
Yeah, I was to say, I'm not sure. I don't know why. In my head, I thought it was BO7, but I get things wrong all the time.
Actually, too much StarCraft.
I do, honestly, probably is. I've been loving StarCraft, though. But Tetcher, thank you so much for casting with me, man. I know we kind of just figured out that we would do this today, but I had a really good time. Sorry, I got a little bit tired near the end there, but it's always a fun casting with you. Guys, are you going to keep streaming?
No, I'm done for the night.
Oh, dang. Me too.
All right, hang on. Let's double raid someone if you want to.
Oh, I'm so in for that. I was saying choose.
All right, let's see who's streaming. Directory, heroes. And let's drop the double raid, get the hype going for them. Who is streaming at the moment? Are there any of your players streaming? That feels appropriate.
I mean, Hasu's streaming, but like he's probably going to be done soon.
Okay, so let's find someone who's
We could always do Alora. She's streaming. Or
where's Alora? There's Alora. Let's do Alora. That sounds fun.
Okay, I'm down for that. Tetcher, thank you so much for casting with me. This was fun, man. We should do it again sometime.
I would love that. That sounds very fun. Thank you for jumping on today. It was very entertaining. Make sure you send me your stuff so I can put you in the YouTube description.
Yeah, will do. I'd say, do you just need like my handles?
Yeah. Just I have your Twitter, etc., but I don't have your YouTubes. I don't have your YouTubes. I have your Twitches and your Twitters, etc.
Okay. Perfect.
Basically, I
Thank
want
you
to be
so much,
lazy and
Tetcher.
copy paste.
Yeah. I'll send it to you right now. Thank
Alright.
you.
Sounds
Appreciate
good.
it, man. You have a
Alright.
good one.
You have a good one as well. I'm gonna sign off.
Same. All right. Later, man.
See you later, buddy. Alrighty, everybody. So, thank you all very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I'm gonna raid Laura. So I hope you had a good stream. Give a shout to her when you arrive, and make sure that you drop a sub if you enjoyed. If you're watching on YouTube, become a member, and of course, use donations using the link below the stream or the YouTube video if you really enjoyed. Thank you for watching. See you all tomorrow for more CCL, and have a wonderful night. Good night.